Do you guys think that Americans know what Dream Team is?
I know what it is.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what Dream Team is?
No.
Were you not a teenager in Ireland when Sky 1 was a thing?
Yeah.
The weird soap opera about the soccer team?
Surprisingly, I didn't watch the soap opera.
But you knew what it was.
No.
You never saw that?
No.
I bet this is because you didn't have, like, proper TV for ages.
We had Sky One. I watched Buffy on it when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I don't know how you know what Dream Team is, Brian.
It's
I know
to do
of
with
it.
soccer.
I've never seen it because it's about soccer.
Yeah.
See, my cousins used to love it, like my sport cousins, and so I got into it. But then there was also a bunch of like super attractive, like just fucking stupid attractive people in it, and so that's why I kept watching it, despite not giving a shit about soccer. But it wasn't about soccer. It was like a stupid soap opera.
I remember the opening credits theme tune was like a football crowd chanting, but it was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
That was like,
Is that
I'm
it?
not even joking. That was it exactly.
Yeah.
I have no
very
idea
important.
what this is.
They used to get actual footage of soccer matches and color correct the jerseys to purple so they were Harchester United.
Oh wait, shit! I know this now. When you said the purple jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's
okay,
no
I've
way
seen
you
this.
could grow up in Ireland in a
Yeah.
certain period and not at least know of that show.
There
Okay.
were a few kind of like mid to high budget short term series produced by the UK television channels that weren't made by BBC.
Yeah.
So generally they were made by Sky One. There was one about a vampire and a ghost, and the ghost was a lesbian. Do you remember that one, Niamh?
No, what the hell is that one?
You'd love
Brian,
that one.
stop teasing her.
Yeah,
That
you're
wasn't real.
teasing.
No, there was that one, and I will show you it later because I don't know the name. I'm going to tweet it out and go, Niamh would like this show, okay? I'm going to do that. Another one was Brainiac. That was amazing.
What was Brainiac?
Brainiac was like Top Gear, but with science.
That was good. Yeah.
But way better than Top Gear, because Top Gear is kind of shite.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
How was it Top Gear but science?
They would be like, okay, we're going to do a science experiment, but we're going to do it in a big warehouse, and it's going to get messy. So they'll be like, can someone walk on custard? And they poured enough custard and made it dense enough that you could walk on top of the custard without sinking.
Kind of sounds like Mythbusters.
Yeah. It was very much like
I don't know. I've seen a fair bit of Top Gear. I get what Brian's saying.
Okay.
Top Gear is a stupid show.
But like it was a real kind of like, all right, mate, just a regular couple of blokes
Walking on custard.
Yeah, walking on custard. Here's a big fat guy and here's a skinny guy, and we're gonna put them in the freezer and see which one lasts longer.
Oh my god.
That they did that.
Yeah, and then they had the reverse where they put them in the sauna, and so when they were in the freezer, the big fat guy lasted way longer because he had all the blubber. But then when they did the sauna, the skinny guy was like having a great time.
This is important science.
It was all for science.
The more you know.
And it had one of the Top Gear guys in it. It had Richard Hamster Hammond, the smallest one.
Sky One were so weird. They probably still are. I remember they used to have like specials. Like there's one special and it was like 100 things found in a human body.
I remember they had the one about rods when I was younger. You know what rods are? They're in JoJo Part 7.
Yeah.
But there are these like transparent flying rods that fly around the sky, and certain camera footage just caught them, but they move so fast that you can't see them in real life.
Wait, are these real?
Yeah.
They were. People figured out what they were.
What were they?
Moths.
Oh, okay.
The way the speed of the moth's wings made it look like they were like elongating, and people thought they were rods.
So it's like a thing where people were capturing it on camera and thought it was like a ghostly spectre, but
Yeah.
it had a logical explanation.
They thought they were government-bred like creatures that were used to spy on us.
It's one of the only. It's interesting because it's like one of the only times that science actually proved a spiritual thing wrong. Welcome to the Let's Fight a Boss podcast, the world's strongest video game podcast. I am sitting here with two of the lead paranormal investigators on this entire goddamn island of Ireland. When you get out to UK and America, there's a lot of competition, and I don't want to I don't want to put undue pressure on you both to improve. But
Thanks.
to my left, I have the enigma that tracks skeletons. The man who sees through all the illusions. It's Bryan.
Hey.
And to my right, I have the only Irish person ever to have actually shot a werewolf. It's the Bloodhowl, Niamh.
Hi.
And who are you?
With you always, I am your host, the Haunted Higekomori, Johnny. What are you laughing at, Bryan?
Nothing. It's just we have these like bombastic nicknames, and then yours is kind of more muted and understated.
There's not a lot to say about me, I feel like. You know, like I'm one of those people, I have accepted my own just forgettable mediocrity and I roll with it.
You've achieved nothing.
And I'm happy like that. You know, it's just like, I am nothing, I never will be. But hey, that's okay.
Well known for talking about cartoons on the internet.
I don't know about any of that.
It's your boy Josh.
So I watched Nathan For You season 4
Yeah.
and it nearly fucking destroyed me.
Yep.
Which one?
Okay, well, most of them. But the last one,
The feature long episode.
the feature long episode,
I'm a ding dong daddy from Demas. From Dumas. Gee, that was fucking brilliant.
that got a bit weird and real in ways I like. So
That felt like a Louis Theroux documentary.
yes,
Yeah,
it did. Except Louis Theroux was going insane. Like, he got really invested in that escort. I don't know how much of this I can talk about because I think people should just go watch it. But like, there was a really sad line, and he was just like, "They were just memories to her." Fucking destroyed me. What is time in fiction and the percent? What is the human mind? What is emotion? It's all fake.
Do you know it took them like 1 year to edit that episode because they had so much footage and they didn't know what the narrative was?
I would believe that.
Did the narrative kind of come through in editing, or did they kind of know when they were editing it?
That show's credited with having writers, so I'd say it's pretty heavily.
Yeah, it's got like a lot of writers and directors, so I think it was edited a bunch of times until they were happy with it.
Yeah.
But it's a really interesting story that they present.
Nathan For You is a fucking fascinating show. We talked about it last week or last time if you didn't hear it, but it's like he's this kind of like sort of idiot savant business guy. It's a reality show, and he comes up with these really stupid ways of like pumping up business. But the last episode is he works with this guy who's like probably the worst Bill Gates impersonator I've ever. How is he so bad at that?
Because he's never done it.
He's never done it. Yeah.
They meet his like, is it his niece or something?
His niece.
Yeah.
And he was just like, how long has he been doing Bill Gates impressions? She's just like, what? What?
Oh, but it was like, and so the whole episode, the hour and a half episode, is them trying to find this woman who he's just been in love with his entire life, and it's fucked up. It's so weird. I was still not okay after it.
No, I'm still thinking about it too, and it's been a month.
You know the one that bothered me the most?
Yeah.
Okay. The chili suit.
Oh, yeah.
The chili suit one was so gross to me.
I really, really like the way he has to like pretend he has a pacemaker, but he has to get an X-ray in order to confirm the pacemaker. But then he's in a weird suit, but he's got the cane, and he's moving differently to a normal man, but not like a man that has like a physical impediment. It's just like he's just got a weird walk to him because he's got a bodysuit of chili.
I can't believe they let him in. I can't believe no one was like, your head is very small for your giant body. It's like, that one really grossed me out and
Yeah,
was just
that was-
kept escalating so much.
And the Jimmy Kimmel story.
That's something a serial killer would do.
That is one of the most sociopathic things I've ever seen.
Yeah. Like,
People should watch season 4 of Nathan For You.
it's just a man who looks like the rest of us, but is not of this like reality.
Yeah. Just like Yoshikage Kira.
Jesus.
Niamh, for some reason you have watched My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yes, I have. People have been trying to get me to watch this forever, and I was like, that sounds
Wait.
like something I would not want to watch.
Is there like a Crazy Ex-Girlfriend There's passion for that movie? I've never seen
It's
it.
a series.
It's a TV series.
It's a 3-season series on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's currently airing.
I'm thinking of the
season.
Uma Thurman movie.
That's a shitty superhero movie.
Yeah.
No, that's
What was that one called?
My Super Ex-Girlfriend.
No, this is My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And people kept asking, like, saying, you love it. And the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, that sounds like something I would definitely not love. And then finally someone said to me, it's a musical. And I was like, oh, that's why people will think I'll like it. And I do like it. It's really
A
good.
musical TV series.
Yeah, it's a dark comedy musical TV series.
That sounds cool.
Nice.
What, really? I thought you were
I
going to...
like musicals.
I like Glee. I don't like Glee.
Have you seen My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
I've seen clips of it.
I think you'd like it a lot. Like,
It's not always a musical, but there's just bits where they break into song.
yeah, there's about 2 musical numbers per episode. So the idea is like this lawyer, Rebecca, she's in New York. She's going to make junior partner, and it's all her mother has ever wanted for her. Until she goes outside and she sees a butter advertisement that says, when was the last time you were happy? And she realizes, oh my God, I'm not happy. They're going to give me my dream job. That was never my dream job. It was my mother's dream job. So she thinks back to when she was last happy, and it was when she was 16 at a summer camp and had a magical fling with Josh Chan, her boyfriend at the time. And she meets him in New York on that day, and he's living in California. So she decides to up and move to California, and that's the starting point.
Some would say that that's a thing only a crazy ex-girlfriend would do.
Exactly.
Oh shit, the title of the...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so we're 3 seasons later and she's still pursuing her long lost love.
I'm only in season 1, and I don't think so. But the thing is, like, it's a musical, but they're all awful people with really debilitating mental illness who are trying to improve in life. Like, there's one point where she gets told she's a bad person, and she can't deal with the idea that someone thinks she's a bad person. So she keeps trying to prove them wrong. And he's just like, why are you so obsessed with my opinion of you? And it's just like, it's a really good way to deal with some actual real issues people would have through the medium of song and dance, and also dark comedy.
That sounds awesome. That sounds really, really cool.
Nice.
It's all on Netflix. I'm enjoying it a lot. All the songs are really good. I can't believe they write it as fast as they do, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're choreographing whole scenes as well. Like, it's pretty impressive what they're doing.
But it's shot like a single camera comedy show.
Yeah,
Okay. Is it 22 minutes or 44 minutes?
44.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's intense. Like, I was like, oh, I really...
That sounds pretty ambitious.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And there's about 2 musical numbers per episode.
Yeah.
Brian,
Yeah.
we
Yes,
saw Lou Over the Wall.
we did.
We did.
This is Masaki Yuasa's second film of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is a fucking machine.
Yeah, he is.
I was saying last week, or the last episode, Masaki Yuasa is my favorite anime director. And we saw The Girl Walks Alone at Night. That was his film earlier this year. But this is his kind of bigger, kind of more award-worthy film. It won a lot of awards at Annecy. And Masaki Yuasa is usually known for making kind of adult-orientated animation or really kind of dark, twisted, fucked up shit. But this is a children's film. And it is about a boy who's kind of a shut-in, starting a band with his friends and also making friends with a mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's what it's about.
Yeah. To me, this felt like him going, yeah, see, I can do this kids bullshit too.
Yeah, it feels like a response to Studio Ghibli films.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really like this.
I thought it was really cool. Like, it's interesting seeing him try and like bend his style into like a more, I guess, conventional look. Because like it did look more normal than a lot of his other stuff.
His stuff is usually like, because he usually adapts stuff from the guy that did Black and White, which was Tekken King Creech.
Yeah.
Which is very crazy hatching lines.
Yeah.
That it looks super kinetic and it looks like it's like boiling animation.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is just very, very flat visual lines.
But it's still pretty distinctive. Like it's still him. What do you think of like the story?
It was grand.
Yeah.
It was cute. It's a 2-hour movie, which is kind of...
You guys, okay, start band meet mermaid.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a few steps in between there.
Well, they live by the sea, so
Oh, okay. There's the
Yeah.
steps.
yeah.
And the mermaid's like, she's a really cute character.
Yeah, she's Ponyo with blue hair.
Sweet. Good design.
Which do you like better, Bryan? This or Ponyo?
I prefer this to Ponyo.
Me too.
Ponyo is the safest, most like padded cushion you could ever sit on.
Yeah, I don't like Ponyo that much.
You don't like it?
Like, I like it. I like it in that it's a movie. I think like, as in like it's an enjoyable movie, but like in terms of like being, I guess, a good Studio Ghibli movie, I think it's just kind of like, yep, they made another one.
It's very pretty.
Yeah.
Like, if you like underwater motif. Did you see that?
What?
Okay. We got an email there that just says knock knock and it's directed to John.
Yeah. All right.
Do you want to?
It's from the ghost that haunts John, and it just says knock knock.
It would have been scary if there was an actual knock.
Yeah. Get better, record a knock.
That was pretty good though to time it when we're recording the podcast.
Can you
Yeah.
attach a WAV file next time, buddy? Thank you.
I think you should reply right now. Say who's there and see if we'll get a response back.
Do it.
Yeah, so this way we can have a continuing narrative throughout this podcast. All right, there we go.
I hope we all don't get murdered at the end of this.
Yeah. Who's there? And we just hear a chainsaw fire up from outside the door.
So this has like cool musical numbers in it. It just has a really, really weird visual style that you wouldn't normally see in a kid's show outside of something like Adventure Time.
Yeah.
And this guy's directed an episode of Adventure Time, and I think this is his way of like testing that audience. As well, this week I watched Mind Game, which is his first feature film, because it came out in Blu-ray. Before that, you can only watch it on DVD.
That movie's a trip.
I've seen this movie about 5 times now, and it's amazing. It's one of my favorite films.
The bit with the milk.
Yeah, the bit with the milk is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But I love Mind Game because the first 20 minutes is one film, and then there's a completely different film.
I don't think we watched it together, but I remember you telling me about it. And the first 20 minutes I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I never got an answer to that question, but I had a really good time.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of like very, very quick shots of about 90 years of someone's lives, or of different characters' lives, but they're actually heavily connected. And all the coincidences that they have along the way are super interesting.
It's like Crash.
Yeah, it's just like Crash, the Academy.
What do you guys think of Crash?
I saw it once, thought it was alright.
It's alright, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, it is such a... Guys, we're all in this together, man.
We're all connected.
And like some of the fucking stuff, and it's just... It's
Yeah.
really gross. Like, especially one of the cop characters who like sexually assaults this woman, but then later he saves her. Because life isn't so simple, man. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I think since being in LA, I might rewatch that film because I might just see more of the bullshit.
Yeah, I think people who are big into the LA lifestyle would look at Crash and be like, oh, emotion.
Being a human. What a novel concept.
Yeah, I'm kind of going down a path at the moment of just being very fascinated by LA bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got any tales?
Well, I'll get to it.
Okay, that sounds good. So we have a little announcement, and that is that our girl Flippity Giblets, Grace, started us up a Let's Fight a Boss Reddit.
Oh yeah, thank you so much.
So now Let's Fight a Boss officially exists on the internet.
On Reddit.
First time.
Well, we had a Twitter. Is the Twitter on the internet?
I don't think Twitter's an internet thing. I'll have to look into that though.
Are we on YouTube?
Probably not. I don't know.
Barely.
I don't really know how this works.
We're on iTunes, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Are
But
we on-
iTunes isn't internet either, as far as I know.
Are we on LimeWire?
Yes.
Oh, I wish.
Man, if someone was downloading pirated Let's Fight a Boss episodes off LimeWire, that'd be sick.
That'd be fucking class.
Yeah.
I actually like googling "Let's Fight a Boss" and then it'll autocomplete Niamh's name first, then my name, then yours, because that's the pecking order.
That, like, everyone keeps telling me that, like, hey, do you know if you type it in, your name comes up first? And I'm like, is that because people are like, Like,
Oh,
is that a hate thing
No,
or a
no,
love thing?
no,
Or
they're
like,
going-
what does she look like? 'Cause
Yeah.
she's the girl.
No, they're going like, I like her voice. Is she hot?
I think
That's what they're doing.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
I think as a girl on a video game podcast, Niamh, if people hated you, you would know about it by now.
That is true. I've been pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, orange is cool.
Yeah,
who's
really cool.
the girl on this podcast? What does she know about games? What does she know?
I like this character.
Yeah. Who is she? Mom! Oh, the girl. Honey, is there a girl in your room? It's the podcast, Mom.
I like to imagine he's just sitting there and like Niamh's just talking about a game he likes and he's just quiet for like 3 minutes and then he's like, shut up, Niamh.
She thinks she knows everything about games. I know. I'll make my own podcast. And that's that.
So that's what the Reddit's for, guys. Just search Let's Fight a Boss Reddit or it's / Let's Fight a Boss. And massive thank you to Grace for setting that up. That was super cool.
Yeah.
There's a few things I want to submit to that. A few pieces of Let's Fight a Boss lore that I think people would appreciate.
Yeah, I might put up a picture of me and John from 10 years ago. I don't know.
Fuck. Jesus, yeah. People get a fucking kick out of that. I was so young.
It's a picture of John before he got fat.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
That's so mean.
John, you're not fat though.
You know how I worry?
You're not fat. You got muscles on your muscles.
I'll leave a link in I'll leave a link in the description, so check that. But with that, let's say we move on into our strategy talk. Niamh, you have been playing the Overwatch Winter Wonderland.
Sure have.
Go on.
Have you guys seen the drama over Hanzo?
It looks like he pissed his pants a yellow dragon.
Yeah.
Is that the drama?
No, okay, so people have been a year ago to this date, like it was the Christmas comic last year where we found out Tracer was gay. The other important thing that happened for Hanzo Mains was he was given a new look in the comic. He is an undercut
A shaved
yeah.
and
undercut.
piercings.
Super sexy undercut.
And since that day, everyone has been like, please undercut Hanzo's skin, make it happen. So before the Winter Wonderland event, Jeff released a video like he does, and he was like,
Sorry, who's Jeff?
he kind of announces everything.
So
Okay.
he's the head of PR for Overwatch, essentially.
Yeah,
Some sort of position like that.
but like he's in all the videos, and he announced that finally we're getting this wanted skin. So everyone's like, oh my god, we're getting Reflections Hanzo. And then he was presented to the world in all his shitty glory. And he doesn't have an undercut. They just dyed half his hair white, and he has a white beard now. But there's a little sliver between the black and the white where there's a shave line for no reason. Like who would make their hair like that? No one. He's wearing drop crotch blue pants with giant zips on them. They look like Kingdom Hearts pants. And there's a yellow piss dragon on the back.
Okay, a piss dragon.
It's a dragon that goes like around his ass.
It looks like he peed himself, but in the shape of a dragon.
So it looks like a streak of piss, not even a patch.
No, it's like a big curling dragon.
It's a big curling,
Oh.
but direct, like if they even had it a little higher, it would be fine. But it's just that weird amount lower.
It's on the seat of his pants.
Yeah. So everyone was just sorely disappointed. It was like a monkey paw wish. They got their Hanzo, but it was the worst version of it. And it's just Blizzard doing what Blizzard do best in. They had a design that someone loved, and then they over-designed it in such a weird way that they made it ugly.
Okay.
So people are a bit upset about it, but it's really funny. The winter event is on, and other than that, the other skins you get is Anna has a really cool skin. She's an owl.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Sombra has like a little winter sprite kind of thing, but her hair kind of sucks. Solar 76. And Bastion has a skin. And May has a new mode where she fights Winston as a giant yeti. It's kind of like Evolve, where one person plays Winston and then there's 5 Mays fighting against him.
Oh, that's cool.
But that's the winter mode.
So is that his skin?
Yes, that's it.
There's a more kind of like very much him from behind.
They
and
they should have changed the geometry on his hair. Like, that would have been easy.
Yeah, that's it.
Weird.
It's a really weird decision because they filled out his beard more on the side of his face as well, and it's like, just use his normal beard.
But it's all frosted for some reason.
Yeah, I guess that's the winter aspect of it. Who knows?
Sometimes I don't think the people who make Overwatch understand how, like, sexy people find those characters. Like, they seem kind of oblivious to it.
Yeah, they don't understand what people like about some of the designs, and then they're like, okay, we'll give them more of what they like, and then they give them this weird and you're like, no, you've messed up. It's just strange. It's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was probably some people working there going, no, people are not gonna like that. Then there's some other guy in a black t-shirt who's never seen an undercut in his life being like, yeah, this is what an undercut is.
Sick.
He Googled it, looked at the first 3 pictures, and was like, there you go.
Now to listen to some Let's Fight a Boss cast. Shut up, Niamh.
God.
I know what an undercut looks like. I'm a fucking genius. That's the noise he makes when he gets the feedback from Blizzard. That's like, got it on the first go. Because the deadline is now.
Yeah, Overwatch continues to be weird. I played some Golf Story. Golf Story is a 16-bit-ish RPG for the Switch. And I spent... In the first hour, I wasn't really feeling it. And it's so weird. In the first hour, I wasn't really feeling it because I felt like it was trying really hard to be, like, cute. You know what I mean? Like, every indie RPG is. Like, they all have cute little... I wish I was Undertale writing.
Yeah.
It was a little bit like that. But then once it got going, the golf mechanics are actually really fun. Because it's more like pitch and putt than golf. And everyone in the world is obsessed with golf in a really kind of self-aware way, and it's kind of charming. Because they're just like these 2 scientists, and they're trying to like develop the perfect golf method, and they're like, we need to dial it back by 10%, grip strength up, and they can't get it, and you're like, and then you come and do their little obstacle course, you just do it really easy because all it is a pitch and putt course, and they're like, how? We need to run the numbers again. It's like...
Seems like they're overthinking it, man.
That's exactly what you tell them.
they need to chill.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like hooligans on the golf course, but the hooligans on the golf course all play disc golf.
What's disc golf?
I don't know, but I know it's a thing. Imagine ultimate frisbee for golfers.
Maybe it's got like a puck instead of a ball.
Something like that. I think it's like designed so it flies really. I don't know really, but yeah, disc golf.
Yeah, that does sound like a perversion of the beautiful sport.
Yeah, but it's really fun. Like, and it's a really chill game as well, and it's cool because like you can just drop your golf ball anywhere, and then hit the golf ball wherever you want. Like, you can just fucking like belt other people and like destroy their faces if you want. But you can also like hit switches that unlock doors, and then there's all these secret areas and stuff.
What made you download this? I do believe there was Super Eye Patch Wolf video where you ragged on the beautiful game of golf.
I think golf's incredibly lame. I think it's a game for losers.
Oh my god.
No, I think it's terrible.
Do you like pitch and putt?
Yep.
I prefer pitch and putt to golf.
Game for kings.
Crazy Golf, pretty good.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I love Crazy Golf.
Yeah, Crazy Golf.
Especially if it has the windmill and it has a jungle like course and stuff like that.
It's kind of my dream to go to like an elaborate crazy golf course, like, you know, one like from The Simpsons where there's like mechanical gorillas and everything.
We don't have those in Ireland, do we?
No, we have holes with right angles.
Yeah, there's ones that have like a zigzag pattern, and you just kind of have to like do like a snooker thing where you just hit you just have to hit the sweet spot and it'll ricochet like correctly, and that's kind of fun. But there's no like set design.
Yeah,
and we want the set design.
Yeah, that's what I want, definitely. What made me download it was like I alwawas want to see where, like, I feel like RPGs are at this kind of place where low budget 20-hour RPGs are becoming a thing. Like, I feel like you're getting a pullback from like the big elaborate 100-hour RPG, and I like that because I don't have time to play that shit anymore. And so any game that kind of checks out what RPGs look like on a smaller scale, I'm really interested to try, even if it's like golf, and this game makes fun of golf a lot, so I like that too.
Cool.
It's a cool game. One thing I'd say though, I don't know if like I'm enjoying it, and like I'll pick it up for like an hour or two and just be like, yeah, the golf story, man. In the year of our Lord 2017, I'm not sure if it stacks up compared to just everything else that was out this year.
Is it better than the Snake Pass?
It's about the same.
Okay, that's decent.
Maybe I enjoyed Snake Pass a little more, but I was also I spent more time with Snake Pass, and those mechanics are really cool.
Okay.
But those are two chilled Switch games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bryan.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah. I got it on sale for like €25. I've been wanting to replay this game for a while now.
Because you had it on 360, was it?
Yeah, I got it on 360 4 years ago. And it's my favorite game on the Xbox 360.
What?
Ooh, that's insane.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah,
Let me tell you about a little game called Asura's Wrath.
Never played it.
Or Nier?
Never played it.
Or any of the Mass Effects?
Dead Rising.
Never played them. Oh wait, I've got Mass Effect 1 and 2 and I wasn't into them. I played a couple hours and it wasn't for me. Oh wait, no, I really like Dead Space. So they're on the 360. But no, I think GTA 5 is my favorite game on the 360.
Fair enough.
Fair.
And GTA 5 on the PS4 is just catching up with a familiar world. Even more familiar since, and this is going back to being in LA over the summer. But I'm just going around to spots in the environment and just going, this is Venice Beach. This is downtown LA. This is the Hollywood Hills. And you know how much I love maps.
Yeah.
And you know how much I love orientation. I am having the time of my life.
That's cool.
I'm barely doing the story stuff. Although...
Wait, what? This is part of your LA thing?
Yeah. Yeah, but then I just love the whole like phony people in LA aesthetic that this game nails. Because... this is developed by Rockstar North, which I can't remember which Rockstar it is. It's the one that are based in Scotland. This game is made by Scottish people. And they went over to LA, took photos, and did a lot of research, and just got this really, really funny version of LA that's called Los Santos. And it's just like a parody done perfect.
This was like one of the first games I played on the PS4 because there was like nothing to play. So I was like, I'll play this again.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back to it, now after being in LA, because at the time I was like, well, this could all be make-believe to Niamh, you know?
Yeah. No, I forgot that there's a Juggalo in GTA 5.
Fantastic.
Like, that's how good it is. And they're still updating it. They had a new heist mode added the other day. They added a new radio station this week. Done by Frank Ocean, so he has his own radio station in the game now.
That's cool. They're still adding stuff to it?
Yeah, and the game's out 4 years, and because it still has a massive online community.
Oh yeah, that makes them so much money apparently.
Yeah, it does. And it's so cool to just see it like still supported. But when I downloaded it off the PS Store, because I got it off one of their 28 or their 48-hour Christmas sale things, so it was €25, and I thought that's a perfect price for this. But it was 60 gigs to download. Like, it was a fucking big game.
Yeah, that's big.
But I have 2 terabytes in the PS4, so that's not a problem anymore.
Yeah.
But I do find myself downloading like 50 gig, 60 gig games, and it's really hard to kind of like delete a game that you're in the middle of playing or that you'd like to come back to play just to install this other game. Fucking games are massive.
Yeah, and they're only getting bigger, and like the amount of patch sizes and stuff as well.
Yeah. Like, when I got Nier off of you guys, I got the disc copy of Nier off a friend at work, but I had to download a 50 gig patch for that. Just fucking insane.
I know. I needed to delete something off my hard drive, and I was hovering over Nier, and I was like, no, never.
You're gonna have to at some point.
No, never.
I hate that feeling when you have a game on your hard drive and you haven't played it for 8 months, but you're like, but I keep meaning to go back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably never going to go back to it.
I recently deleted Dark Souls 3 from my PS4.
Ooh. But it's not your save game you're deleting, right?
No.
It's not. No.
That's safe up in the cloud as long as I'm on PS Plus, which I will be indefinitely because I always get a good rate on it. But I'm having a great time with GTA 5. It's just more of the same. but it's cool just going back to it and being familiar with the worlds.
Would you say it's the best old game of 2017?
Not for me, no.
Okay.
Maybe the second best.
Yeah. You have both spent a little time with Xenoblade, but are either of you ready to talk about it?
Nope. Niamh? Do you have anything to say about Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
My copy got lost in the post, so it took me a week to get it. So that sucks. So I only got to play it for a few hours before recording. I put it in and I was like, maybe I'll be okay with the English voice acting. Oh my holy sweet Jesus, that is the most like awful voice acting I've ever heard.
It's like someone's shitty impression of a Welsh accent.
Yeah, God, it was really bad. I was like, no. And the patch downloaded, and I assume that's the Japanese. So
Yep.
I'm gonna play with that instead. But very early into it, I liked the concept of the world. Like,
super cool.
I like
Yeah,
the
it
idea
is.
that you're living on top of like giant titans' backs and they're dying. So when they die, like there's nothing but a drop beneath you. There's nowhere else to live. The land is literally a living creature, and I think that's a cool concept for an RPG. And it seems very much so far like a PS2 RPG. So kind of bloated, kind of silly, but I like that stuff.
I got a real like Dreamcast vibe from the
Yeah,
original.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not even PS2, kind of PlayStation.
Yeah.
The generation in between.
It feels like somewhere in between Skies of Arcadia and something like Dark Cloud.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
I thought Dark Cloud, yeah.
It's that kind of a JRPG where it's kind of cute but kind of serious as well.
Yeah.
I have a copy of Skies of Arcadia, and at this point, I think I play through a couple of hours of it every 4 years.
So that's enough.
But I always like it. I'm always like, oh, this fucking weird thing. Bryan, you've played an hour of this,
Yeah.
but you already know it's not for you.
Well, I'm just not in the mood for it right now. I already played a big bloated JRPG this year, and like you were saying about smaller JRPGs, maybe that's what I want.
Yeah.
I did get this game for an excellent price because the
I've
shop
heard so much about this price.
the shop that was selling it sold it at the wrong price, so I got it for €38, which is like, I don't know, $40, $35. That's cheaper than a 3DS
So
game.
it's you not playing it right now isn't a statement on the quality of the game. It's just you ain't in a place that you want to play it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But
What was
I do
the other bloated RPG you played?
Persona 5.
Oh, okay.
And that is a bloated ass RPG.
Yeah.
I played
that's really
I
long.
played 100 hours of Persona
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to beat Persona 5. I don't think I will.
You don't have to.
I really enjoyed a lot of my time with it, but I'm satisfied now. I dated everyone I wanted to date.
Oh
You
dear.
achieved what you want to achieve.
I mean,
He
you
spread
know,
himself around town. He did it.
moving swiftly along. Niamh, tell us about your game of the year, Mario Odyssey.
Bryan was very kind to lend me Mario, so I would never have to pay for it.
Yeah, don't.
I feel like I'm the wrong person to ever give an opinion on these because I just don't think I like Mario games.
You've talked about how much you like 3D Land.
3D Land was a surprise. But then like I was playing this and I was like, there's some bits I like. Like I'm running around as little Mario and I think his animations are really cute. Like when he goes down a hill, he sticks his arms out like an
Totally.
anime girl.
Yeah.
Like I like his little roll.
He plays super fucking nice.
Yeah, like there's a lot of cool little things I like, but I also feel like on a treadmill or something. Like, and it's not. You would call it good design because the worlds lead you around so deftly, but I don't feel like I'm exploring or doing anything. I feel like I'm following a very, very defined path. And I'm burning through it. Like, I spent like 6 hours on a Saturday playing it, and I'd say I'm more than halfway through
Yeah.
at this
you are.
stage.
Like the main story, at least.
Yeah, but like, I'm not into collectathons, so I wouldn't go back and collect more stuff.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
There's no reward for it, really.
Yeah, and I get what you guys say, like we're saying about the moons, how like easy they are to get. Like I didn't like the water level because like fuck water levels, but I had collected so many moons in the world anyway that I only needed like 4 moons there to kind of progress, and I was like, oh phew, I don't have to deal with this crap. The one thing I thought was weird about it is it kind of shows you all its cards in the very first level. You get to do the 2D Mario stuff in the first level, which was really cool. But I think if that was left till the third one or the fourth one, I'd be like, oh, sweet, 2D stuff. But now I expect it in every level.
And it's there.
And it's there every level. And it's like, okay, so like it doesn't feel special at all. It just seems like, okay, this is part of the level. Kind of mild spoiler, but it's the first level of it. The dinosaur is there, that from the trailer, which I was like, cool, a dinosaur. And he's in such a small area that you can't really... You can control him, but...
He's just on a cliff edge and a kind of a cliff bridge.
Yeah, and you can't really go far with him. And I was like, oh, okay. So best part over in 20 minutes for me. Like, I was like, can't wait to see that dinosaur.
It didn't match the energy of the trailer when you first see him. And I think it would have been even better if they never showed him. It would have been so fucking funny.
I thought it'd be like last level stuff or like mid-game stuff. Like, I'd be like, oh, cool, a giant dinosaur. But it was like the first one. Like, he's there.
There is one thing they do right at the end that I thought was about as cool as the dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was fucking amazing. And
Yeah,
that's
that
like
was
one
really
of the best Mario moments in Mario games.
Cool.
So it's good that they kind of kept that hidden. Because they kind of spoiled a lot of stuff in advance.
Yeah,
especially
maybe that
in
trailer
first
was a
level.
bit too epic, and maybe some of the stuff that happens should
That
have
trailer
been...
made me feel like I was gonna... That trailer made me feel like that I was going to feel like I was on LSD while playing this game.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so insane.
Or like that, you're looking at a trailer, but what you're seeing is only like 10% of what's in the game. But really, you saw about 90% of what's in the game in that trailer, because...
At least, like, conceptually.
Yeah, because then you just see a lot of it reused throughout the whole game. And there's a few, like, nice bits and pieces here and there, but a lot of it is kind of already known in advance.
It's weird, because, like, I don't think any of us dislike the game.
No.
None of us are, like, blown away by it.
My favorite level so far is the one where you're the melon and you grow on your stalks.
Those are cool.
Yeah. I really like that level. I really like the music. And
it reminds me of Nier. Like, there's a whole pile of robots, there's white flowers, and a whole pile of, like red industrial metal around.
That has grown vegetation all right. Yeah, it is.
I was like, oh, cool, it's the Nier level.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate the designs of the evil rabbits that you're fighting.
The Brundles.
I've never seen... I was, like, shocked that this was in a Mario game. I've never seen an uglier design in my life. Like, they look like shitty Five Nights at Freddy's characters.
That is tough but fair.
That, like, to me, those designs... I've seen those kind of designs in previous Mario games on, like, different kind of creatures with, like, those kind of bug-eyed facial expressions. They've been on, like, previous, like, bosses in Mario Galaxy games. So they weren't as big a shock to me that they must have been to you, where you were just like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, what? Ew.
It sucks because I love, like, the Super Mario World aesthetic. Like, I thought they did such a good job, like modernizing that for the 3D world. I love the enemy design from that game. They look so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The only other thing is, like, I thought the worlds felt really small. I thought they would be bigger.
Yeah, I feel like with the worlds, they just feel like... They feel like kind of little obstacle courses.
Yeah.
You know, whereas, like, would say, like, Mario... And I know that was a thing in... That's totally a thing in 3D World as well. Like, they don't feel like worlds, they feel like levels. But I'm fine with that, because I feel like they are levels. You go through them linearly. They're designed down to a T. But with these, they feel like very neutered open worlds. But I didn't get a sense I was in an actual place. Like,
because it's just a big giant floating tile out in the abyss.
Yeah, but whereas, like, say like in Super Mario 64, like the haunted house level from that really feels like a haunted house. Yeah. You know, the weird caves with, like, Metal Mario really feels like a fucking strange cave you'd find. And this just feels like a 3D level in a video game, a 3D piece of geometry with objectives and enemies.
Yeah.
It was really like the sand level. There's just a giant canyon around it, and I was like, guess this is as far as I go, kind of thing. It's like, it's very... They don't even try hide it nearly, you know? It's like, this is it.
Yeah, and like you just look around at a big giant skybox and sky wall, I guess, that has like a painted horizon all the way around that like seams the gap, and same with the sky, and you're just like, that's a lovely painting of nothing I'll ever visit.
Yeah, and I feel like, the thing that keeps you moving around is the moons. But what the moons started to feel like for me after a while, it was like a bunch of different jokes that all had the same punchline. Because whatever you do in that game, it leads back to a moon. And I thought that was really boring.
Mm-hmm. I feel super bad for Peach as well in this game.
But she's not doing anything.
Yeah, I know. That's why I feel bad for her. It sucks.
Does she have a concussion or something? Because she's just standing there.
Yeah, like
she's like an exploding ass in Smash Brothers. She could get away from it.
Yeah, she's one of the best characters in Smash.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like, even the first, like, mid-boss fight you have with, like, Bowser.
Yeah.
She's just standing on her own. It's like, now's your chance to run. You know?
Yeah,
just
or
do
like,
it.
he's got his back turned to you. Do the fucking ass
pound.
Yeah, ass pound him. Just do something. And she's
feels
just
weird.
standing there like... Meow.
It feels like a real throwback to old school Mario. And I'm sure for a lot of people... I'm sure people would say, like, that's nostalgic. That's what's meant to be. But it's like... I have experienced all the Save the Princess narratives I ever need to. Like, there are so many. And I don't need them anymore,
Peach does some cute stuff at the end of the game, but it's really cute.
Yeah,
it's not clever. It's just
I liked what they were doing when they were in the post game, but I still think like.
But it wasn't clever. It wasn't. It didn't make me proud of her. It just made me just think like, oh, that's quaint.
Like, what if they did something like Luigi in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, where she's off having her own adventure?
Oh yeah,
that'd be really cool. Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey. We're the world's most lukewarm podcast on that game.
Yeah, to me, that game feels like you make a nice bath and you're looking forward to your bath, and you get into your bath, but it's not warm enough, but you're in the bath anyway, and you have an okay time, but...
That is exactly how I feel about that game,
Jesus
Christ.
Yeah, there weren't enough bubbles in the bath. It was just like a shitty bath, but you had a bath. it was comfortable.
Yeah. Bryan.
Yeah.
Tell me about Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay, I'll just talk about it very quickly. I played a couple more hours of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm enjoying the game a bit more now.
Okay, cool. Just took a little while to get going.
Yeah, the environments and the story in that game are mind-blowing. They're just beautiful. The character animation, which is all motion capture, and the voice acting and the lip-syncing is absolutely atrocious.
It's weird because I was thinking about why that was, and I was like, well, this is kind of their first game. And then I was like, no, wait, hang on. These guys have been doing games since the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, they made Killzone.
Yeah.
Is the voice acting bad itself, or is it just how it's acted in the game?
Both.
Oh, wow.
Even Aloy?
Aloy's grand.
I thought the voice acting in that clip you sent us was pretty atrocious.
That's what every NPC sounds like. And I think they just have a bunch of stock voice actors, and they'll just attach them to some NPC, so they don't match the voice of who they are sometimes.
Yeah.
That sucks, especially if the whole thing is like built on kind of narrative world building, and then every NPC is just kind of like stock voice face person.
Yeah, but then the primary characters have like good voices. Like one of the kind of antagonists is voiced by Lance Reddick. Who does a voice in Destiny? So he you know how Nathan Fillion's in Destiny, but then the other guy, the other faction, is Lance Reddick.
No, who's Lance Reddick?
He's the Detective Daniels from The Wire.
Okay,
beautiful police.
You know that trailer that I had for Destiny 2?
Oh,
and there was Nathan Fillion, and he was the wacky one, and then there was the serious one, and that's Lance Reddick. He does lots of voices, and he also does a voice in that game made by Remedy.
Quantum Break?
Yeah, Quantum Break. He does lots of video game stuff.
He kind of sounds like...
And he's in Fringe as well.
Where are we going?
Yeah, he's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
I love Lance Reddick, so it's real cool when Lance Reddick shows up.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he like, to me, he's like someone like Jeremy Irons and playing Scar. Like, he just has a presence.
I've never seen Lance Reddick play a villain, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah, he's very intimidating. There's two mechanics in this game that I think are brilliant, and other games out there should take note. And what they are is, this game has a detective vision in it, similar to what they have in Tomb Raider and in obviously Batman, where you click down, it'll tell you like things nearby that you can use as resources or enemies that you could sneak up on and all that kind of stuff. It'll glow them a different color. But when you're in detective vision, she's crouching and walking very slowly, so you cannot use it at all during combat.
Okay.
So you need to click it on, assess the area, and then turn it off. And what you could do is you could put markers on things like enemies, and it'll have their walking pattern and stuff like that. Because a lot of the enemies are automated machines, so they just have a clear walking pattern. I think that's really, really, really clever.
Yeah, I like that there's a cost, because in Assassin's Creed Origins that I'm playing, you have your eagle vision, and you can like pop that whenever you want. So you kind of end up overusing it.
It was the same in the Arkham games. Sorry, I'm so strong. There was never a reason to turn detective mode off.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yeah.
fuck it.
I used to play Phantom Pain with night vision on all the time.
Wait, the green one? The night vision?
Yeah, just because I could see the enemies really, really clearly.
Oh, that would bug me out.
Yeah, I just think of like a game highlights the colors super obvious, and if you're in a tough situation, you just find yourself over relying on it because you just want to get it done with.
I think it tends to it tends to take some of the game design out of it as well.
Yeah.
Because like you don't have to use your observational skills; you just look for the bright spot on your map.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this does it really, really well, where it tells you where it is, and then you have to remember. Then the other thing is there's fast travel in this game, but it requires a sleeping bag. So you fast travel from different campfires, and you use a sleeping bag. But the sleeping bag you have to craft, or you have to buy it at a shop. So it's a consumable item. So that means sometimes you have to get to a certain point, and you could fast travel there. But maybe but because it's consumable, you actually feel more inclined to just take the path and go there.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that's good, because with open world games, you sometimes miss out on the environment because of your over reliance on fast travel.
Yeah.
Oh, so much. Like I think.
Yeah.
Like I do games of like open world games where I'm like, I put that limitation on myself because I want to kind of role play the world a bit more.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm not going to use fast travel. But I think it would be cool to have that limitation built into it nearly.
Yeah. And it's a really, really subtle way of doing it.
Yeah, where it's like a decision. It's not just like something you're leaning on.
Yeah, it's part of the gameplay.
Yeah, and so sometimes I fast travel, but it's because I'm like, okay, I'm going to an area here that has a cluster of like to do things. So that's why I'm going to fast travel, and it's worth using it to get to this area that's like 2 or 3 kilometers away from where I am at the moment. Because that's something that happened to me in Breath of the Wild, where I used the horse for about 10-15 hours at the start, and then I didn't need to use it anymore because I had unlocked enough shrines that I could just teleport wherever I wanted.
Yeah.
And the horse becomes redundant.
Which is sad, because like when you first get the horse, that's such a cool moment.
Yeah.
Like, and using the horse is so cool.
Kind of transforms the world in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just think these are fantastic mechanics, and I hope other games look at this and put them into their next games. Especially you, Nintendo.
Speaking of which, Bryan,
Yeah,
we got something to talk about.
the Zelda DLC.
Zelda DLC dropped.
Yeah.
You played through much of it?
I played a couple hours of it. This isn't the DLC Pack 1 that we're playing. We're playing the DLC Pack 2.
Ballad of Champions.
Yeah, but you have to buy it all as one bundle
Yeah.
for €20. But we're primarily focusing on the Pack 2 just because it's story-based.
Yeah. How are you getting on with it?
So far, I'm okay with it. I like it.
Okay. So, the first part of the challenge that I've done is you get this weapon called the one-hit obliterator. And what this does is it kills any enemy in one hit, but you also die in one hit as well. And I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was a really ingenious gameplay mechanic.
Yeah, so you're walking around moblin bases, but you have a quarter heart.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, re-heal yourself. I tried, and it just brings you back down to a quarter heart.
And I thought that was really cool because it recreated that amazing feeling at the start of the game where there's like, if there's 4 moblins, you have to be like, okay, how am I going to do this? And that was really cool. And I did those challenges, and like there's pretty much like 4 or 5 shrines.
Yeah.
Like 4 shrines. And So you go to the location, you have to clear out the surrounding land of enemies. That's really fun. You go down into the shrines, the best shrines of the game easily. Like, there's obviously been a lot more attention put into them.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
I really love the shrines, so that makes me. I kind of want to get it.
They're really, really, really fun shrines.
Yeah, they're very, very good.
Is it how expensive is it?
20.
Okay, I would do that for shrines.
Yeah. Because this is kind of where I'm getting a little worried. I don't think I'm far enough into this to have like a proper opinion, but what I got from the feel of this was like this was going to be story DLC. And for €20, I really expect story DLC. I really expect I expect them to wheel out all stuff. I expect Orphan of Kos, I expect Shadow Broker, I expect the true ending to Azora's Wrath that actually should have been in the full game. That's what I want, you know. And I'm starting to get the feeling that I am not going to get that.
You won't.
Yeah.
I think maybe I've played a bit more than you by the sounds of it.
Have you beaten any of the bosses?
Yeah.
What happens when you beat a boss?
So I did the Goron one because I really hated the Goron dungeon, so I thought I'd get that over and done with. And you just go to the Goron area and it gives you 3 shrines, but what happens is it gives you dots on a map, and you have to take photos of them and then look at the world map and find out where they are based on those photos. And I love that because that's me.
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
Oh, I'm so good at it and it feels so good. I love it when it clicks. So you go to them and you have to do like a little like mission. There's one where you have to stand in the lava on a rock to activate something. There's one where you have to fight a magma rock guy, and he's pretty tough to beat. There's one as well where you just have to glide through loads of circles until you clear it. But then you get shrines to do with them, and they're pretty good shrines as well. Same level of kind of cleverness to them.
Yeah.
And then you have to fight Ganon again, but you know one of his dungeon aspect Ganons.
Yeah. With limited equipment, right?
With limited equipment, but it's the weapon that the hero uses from that region. So this is the Goron hero, the Goron champion, and when you beat him, you get a cutscene of that character's backstory.
How did they kind of like? Why are you fighting Ganon again? You defeated Ganon.
You're like reliving the hero's memories.
You go back 100 years ago, and this is what defeated him 100 years ago.
Okay.
But you have to try and defeat him as Link, which is kind of interesting. But it's just their way of going, because I kind of knew in advance that, and this is probably like a big disappointment for people, that people thought like maybe like the DLC is there's like a new mountain all the way up in the top corner and you get to go to that mountain and there's a new area with lots of interesting stuff going on. It is not that at all. You are revisiting familiar territory and doing shrines.
So what was the cutscene good?
I thought it was pretty good.
How long was it?
2 minutes.
That's alright.
Yeah.
If it's like that for each character, that's a little better than I was expecting from so far.
The cutscene was actually good. It's probably the best thing to happen in the Goron city. Because I thought that place sucked. I didn't
super boring.
I didn't like the cutscenes, but the cutscene for that was actually pretty pleasant.
Okay. That has me a little more hopeful.
It's not the best thing ever. It's a fucking Zelda cutscene, but it's one of the better ones.
And like I do feel like, you know what you're saying, Bryan, about like the new mountain that is not, you know, that kind of thing. I really feel like for 20 quid, that's the kind of shit you should be getting.
And it's kind of what people want more, you know, like...
Well, like...
Tell me more.
Yeah, I don't need more shrines because there's still like, you know, fucking 200 of them that I haven't gone near, you know?
I think to them this isn't 20 quid, this is 10 quid. Because it's the part 2.
Yeah, but the first one was barely 10 quid.
Yeah,
that was just a
all the first
mode
one is like a few, like, yeah.
Yeah, well, like, to them, the first one was the value of 10 quid. And so, to them, this is like, and this is what you get, this is your money's worth right here.
Sure, but then you shouldn't charge them both the same.
It's kind of weird, just, the DLC I've bought for stuff has been, I've always felt I've got my money's worth, like, robust.
Oh, like this is the same price as the Bloodborne DLC, and it is not the Bloodborne DLC.
Yeah.
But this is Nintendo.
And like, I don't think I'd have an issue with that if it was 10 or like even 15. But I just feel like for 20, like I could have bought like the Sexy Brutale for 12. You know,
probably,
and I really want to play that game, and now I'm probably not going to.
Could buy Battle Chef Brigade.
Yeah. Nia's favorite game.
Nia's
great game.
I just think they charged 20 because they knew they'd get away with it.
That's a very un-Nintendo move.
You think that?
It's this Nintendo right now, like they're getting their money. They're putting stuff out. There's going to be a Mario movie, Mario cereal.
They've sold 10 million Switches.
Mario and Rabbids. Like,
Well,
they're ready
the
to
thing about, like,
do DLC for €20.
Like, whatever I'd say for, like, Mario Rabbids or Mario Odyssey, any of that, like, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Mario Odyssey. I think that game is great value. I just don't like it.
I would find it hard to say it was great value. Like, I got a loan from it from Bryan, and that's cool, but if you spend like €50 on that and you finish it in a day, that's kind of like, that's not great.
No.
That's really not great.
I guess not, but I think if you're
I
into
have
that
played
gaming-
30 hours of it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what that equates to.
Yeah, like I've played about 10 and I felt like, yeah, I got my money's worth.
So far, I'm 5 hours into the Zelda DLC. So I'm not bothered by that price.
Yeah.
I think
It's just
I
not.
think I just like quality over quantity.
The words-
because I already have quantity.
The
Yeah.
wording like around that DLC when they first announced it, and it was before the game's release,
Yep.
was kind of, the second one would be story.
Yeah.
And I think everyone was like, oh, cool, it'll be story. And I see a lot of people on the internet kind of disappointed that, I guess it is that, but it's not what I think people imagined.
I think what I was
That
hoping
would
for
be-
here was proof of concept for Breath of the Wild 2. Like, what is Breath of the Wild on the next level? Like, how do you implement a genuinely like good story into that? Because then, like, if you implement a genuinely good story and a better world building into that game, you have a fucking incredible game. And it just disappoints me that this isn't that.
Is there any new monster designs?
I would bet not.
No, I don't know if one of them is a new design. It's a pre-existing design, but it
The
had
rock thing.
it's the rock thing, but he's magma. He's got like a layer of magma on top of him, and he's really, really difficult to beat because you have to come up with a new strategy.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't do like they haven't modeled a new enemy
Oh.
because there's only like 6 enemies in the whole game with palette swaps and accessory
Yeah.
swaps.
Well, even like putting a new enemy in there would be kind of cool.
No, there isn't any.
Yeah.
And that's what made me think about the Bloodborne DLC, because they did reuse some environments, but they did an interesting thing on it, and, like a really, really cool twist where it looks like a dream world. But then they did do brand new models of
Yeah,
new enemies
like,
and new NPCs and
I haven't
new
played-
weapons.
I haven't played through the old Hunters, but the feeling I got from it was like they made that because they had a fucking awesome idea for new Bloodborne shit.
Yeah, they
Not
did.
necessarily like, we need to put out DLC. And this is the kind of, like, the way I see the DLC pitch for Breath of the Wild going is someone comes into a room and is like, okay, who's got ideas?
But then something like Minerva's Den, which is a really, really, really good DLC pack for Bioshock 2, they pretty much reuse assets from the main game, but they do brand new audio logs and have an interesting story, but they just get all these like bits and pieces off a shelf and they just assemble them in a very fresh and original way.
Yeah, that's like with the Deus Ex DLC. It's all locations you've been to, but there's new character lines recorded. There's new writing in it. There's like a character comes back into it. You know, you feel like this is worth buying because I'm getting something I didn't get from the main experience.
I feel like for me, I'm getting more of what I got from the main experience of Zelda, which I guess for me, like, I was done with Zelda by the end of it.
Yeah. Like, I haven't played Zelda in 6 months, so it is cool to come back to it. I do love that it's got the feature where you press X and you can see where you were already on the map. Because there's some bits I've never explored in that game, and I've never realized I've never explored them.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
I thought
And-
that was crappy that's DLC though. I think
Yeah.
that should be in
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah, no, it should be in the game. And they have a thing as well where you can just scrub back and you can like press play and it'll show your line traveling from like the very beginning of the game. And it'll show you all the times you've died. So there was like a bit where like I went to one area and I died like 3 or 4 times, and then I remembered what that was. Like I thought I really, really liked that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I haven't gone about like trying to unlock any of the extra outfits and stuff that are part of the DLC because they're available. You just have to do a mission to get them, but I haven't done any of those.
Are you gonna get the bike?
Yeah, I think the bike is the reward for beating the Part 2 DLC. I think that's Link's Beast.
The ancient horse or something.
Yeah.
I think it's so it looks cool, but it's a bit world breaking.
They had
motorbike.
It's really weird because I think it was like years ago when they were doing the concept, they really wanted to have the bike in it, and at that point it was supposed to have more sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because there's that really shitty concept art with Link and a motorcycle, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is.
Weird.
Because the idea is that it's supposed to be alien technology that's way more advanced than the high fantasy that is Zelda.
Yeah.
And so that's why they thought it'd be funny to have a bike in it, just because it looks surreal. And Link, and people are used to seeing Link in cars and stuff because of Mario Kart 8. So it's not too disjointed.
They were conditioning us this whole time.
Yeah, they were. But his bike looks cool because it looks like a weird like mechanical puppet kind of bike. Yeah. And there are mechanical enemies in Zelda. Like there's Got in Majora's Mask, who's like a wind-up giant bull.
And the Guardians as well.
Yeah, the Guardian. Yeah. So there have been like weird, like sort of robots in Zelda before.
Yeah. I think you've kind of intrigued me a bit, Brian. I'm going to spend more time with it. I think ultimately where I kind of come down finally on Zelda is going to depend on how much I get drawn in by this DLC, I think. And that's going to be interesting considering we got our Game of the Year coming up.
Here we go.
Here we go. And with that, let's move into our Quicktime Events.
This is the part of the podcast where we read out news headlines and discuss them briefly.
Yes, in an entertaining fashion.
Everyone loves this section.
Do they?
Yeah.
I fucking hate this bit.
Yeah, this is
That's because we've had a lot of bad news. Now we have a lot of good news.
Okay. Actually, yeah, I really like this first headline. Niamh,
Yeah,
do you want to read it?
good news.
Oh my god, shut up.
Niamh, go on. This is for you, Niamh.
Okay. Oops. Hannah Tell and Ashley Birch reprised their roles as Max and Chloe in the special chapter of Life is Strange Before the Storm.
That's really sweet.
It's super sweet. So Ashley Birch couldn't take up her role as Chloe Price because of the voice actor strike. Square Enix was one of those companies that was blacklisted. And she was really sad about it because she loved Chloe and she worked behind the scenes on it. She was a script consultant because she wanted the new voice actress who did a really good job.
Yeah, I thought she did.
What's her name? Rihanna DeVries. She did an amazing job as Chloe. But it was sad not to see Ashley Birch reprise that character. So it's nice that she can come back to her and do this final episode with Max as well.
And it's good because this final episode transitions into the original game anyway, so it doesn't look out of context. And because she's talking back and forth with Max, it's familiar.
Yeah, I thought it was cute. I thought it was kind of like a kind of nearly a nice resolution to the whole voice actor thing because she had to leave it for that reason, and that has been resolved, and they've gotten more transparency and rights because of it, and it's just nice for her to go back and say goodbye to the character because this is it for Chloe. So I'm delighted about that news.
I'm delighted for you, Niamh.
Yeah.
John is
Full of hate. Just constant hate.
Why?
Max is in the game again.
Yeah, now I can't enjoy Life is Strange anymore.
Because Max is back.
And she literally bothers me that much. I think she's one of the worst video game characters.
Ah, poor Max. She's just a weenie.
John is very open about hitting a 17-year-old girl.
Look, if I ever saw a 17-year-old girl, if she was real, she better fucking watch herself.
She's stronger than you in so many ways.
Not the ways that matter. I look forward to your reports on it, Niamh.
It's gonna be beautiful.
I'm sure it will. Amiibo Mario breakfast cereal.
If someone wants to send us a box of this, I'd really, really appreciate it. I think it's only in America.
Yeah, we can't get it here.
I might post, or maybe, okay.
We should really set up that P.O. box.
Okay, I think at some point we probably will set up a PO box. But what you do is, Bryan is very interested in a box of the cereal, please. It's Christmas. Bryan would like a cereal, please.
This is not getting released in Ireland.
It's not going to get released in Ireland because
Yeah.
Ireland only has like cornflakes. We're fucking peasants over here.
Yeah.
So someone, would you politely send us an email at askletsfightaboss@gmail.com.
Folks, listen to the desperation in his little voice.
Just send us an email and I will personally communicate with you via the email and we'll take it from there. Thank you in advance. I love you.
Okay, well, the news aspect of it, there is a Mario cereal that is also an amiibo.
It's
The
got
box itself.
Okay,
is
so
an amiibo.
what is the amiibo a box of cereal? Can I scan a box of cereal into Super Mario Odyssey?
Yes,
I think it just gives you an
it just
extra,
gives you hearts.
yeah, it just gives you a couple hearts.
Yeah.
And it's just the chip that's in an amiibo, which is also in like travel cards for like using like trams and trains and buses.
Yeah.
It's the same like chip that's in that. Like they're easy to mass produce and put into a cardboard box.
And they're kind of like Lucky Charms. It's like marshmallows with like normal
Yeah.
cereal.
It's got the whole grain cereal and Mario themed marshmallow sweets. And I love Lucky Charms, so if I
too.
can have a Mario version of Lucky Charms, which is please help me.
God, you're so desperate.
Yeah.
You know, okay, here's the thing. I know we're out of the Mario Odyssey discussion, but when I was in one of the levels, I don't own any amiibos. One of the characters says to me, "Hey, have you an amiibo?" And I was like, fucking no. And then one later on was like, "Hey, scan your amiibo."
Just use one of your amiibo.
But I don't have any, and I'm not going to buy
Wait,
an
what do you
amiibo.
mean?
Just go to GameStop, get an amiibo, bro.
Just go to your amiibo. No, sorry. I'll
But
explain
if that
to you.
was in any other game, scan your thing you bought.
Niamh, just go to your
People
amiibo
would be
shelf,
pissed.
open the case, and then just use whichever one you like.
I don't know how they've managed to scam people into thinking this is okay.
Okay, how many Mario amiibos do you have?
Like none. I don't own any amiibos. I think they're
You-
really
literally
ugly
not
figures.
not making any sense to me at all.
Disney Infinity were
I've got my
beautiful.
pixel art Mario up there.
Compared to
That was
just use one of your
cute.
Zelda ones then.
I was like, this is so fucking no. Like 3 characters. Were
How
like,
many of
"Scan
my
your
Mewtwo?
amiibo."
How many of my Mewtwo amiibos would you like to borrow?
I don't want to borrow any amiibo. I would like to try an amiibo like once, but I never.
They're
gonna
not
buy-
bad. I don't
Yeah.
think they're terrible figures.
I think they're
I-
fine depending on the character they're doing. When it's a
There's
simple
some bad
shape,
ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but then when it's a more complicated, like at that scale, it does not look good.
I don't think I've ever used the amiibos in Mario Odyssey.
No, me neither.
I use them in Splatoon to unlock some costumes because I've got like 12 amiibos now, but they're of select favorites. And
You have 12? Holy
yeah,
shit.
they're up there on the shelf. Okay, so we've got Pixel Mario, King DDD, Kirby,
Got Soft Yoshi.
Soft Yoshi from Yoshi's Woolly World. We've got Dr. Mario. We have Splatoon, Boy, Girl, and Inkling. We have Callie and Mari from Splatoon also, and we have Marth from Fire Emblem. That's approximately 10 amiibo.
So, yeah.
And Rob from the Famicom.
There you go, Niamh. Just use your Rob one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
I don't like Rob in Smash Brothers, but I do love the Famicom color palette.
I don't mind that you can use an amiibo, but I hate when the game breaks its own gameness by telling me to use an outside thing.
Well, he's Uncle Amiibo. Makes
It wasn't just Uncle Amiibo, who's a little Roomba ass thing. It was also another robot who asked me if I had an amiibo, and
But they're
if I didn't
robots.
have one, I should get one. And that message stayed up on screen way too long.
weird, really.
Robots are self-aware, Niamh.
Yeah.
I
Is
really-
that not like what Nier Automata is about, though?
Fucking fuck off.
He got you there,
Oh my
Niamh.
god, just shut up.
You're so selective about what you like and don't like.
Oh, the Nier Automata robots are so cool because they're self-aware. But when the amiibos get self-aware in Mario Odyssey, I don't like that.
I like when they
Jesus
break-
Christ, Niamh.
I really like when they break the fourth wall, but it's on my terms. And I don't like Mario. I like my anime girl. Isn't that right, Niamh?
Yeah.
She's got nice legs. Is that what you like about her?
You're so gross, Niamh.
Oh my god.
Such a
You're gonna
dog.
make me cry.
Fucking hounding over those girls. Lock up your daughters. Niamh's out. Sorry, Niamh. That was me. Way too mean.
Now I hate amiibos more.
You're not going to like your Christmas
you know what
presents.
Nier Automata basically is? It's just a game full of amiibos. You play as amiibos, you fight amiibos. That's what that game is.
Yeah, it's just about Bitcoin or some shit. Did you get it?
Fucking God.
I like Nier Automata. I said it right this time.
Oh, I'm paralyzed with like rage. I think this is rage, or maybe it's tears.
Niamh, this is how John feels when we tease him.
This is how John feels all the time.
I'm so glad we know how to push your button.
I was going to tell you a cool thing I thought of today about Nier, but I'm not even going to share that.
No, tell us.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
go
even
on.
care.
tell us.
No,
come on.
whatever.
Okay, you don't have to tell us, but you do have to tell the studio audience.
Yeah, you do.
You're going to like just make fun of me.
No.
Niamh, you're wearing a Nier Automata hoodie. Come on, tell us.
I don't want to. Let's move on to the next
Okay,
news item.
here's what we'll do. We'll go completely silent until Niamh tells a story.
Okay.
Okay, so A2's name could be... You're just already laughing at me.
I'm fascinated so far.
Could be to do with Shakespeare's line in Julius Caesar A2 Brute, which means you two Brutus, when Brutus assassinates Julius Caesar, and it's this thing of turning against a friend, like it's a betrayal. And A2 was betrayed by Yorha, and she's also seen as a betrayer by 2B. So like 2B's name is to do with Shakespeare, and A2 could be this as well. And I just thought that was really cool and
I can't
clever.
believe you let it bring this dumb bullshit into the podcast.
No, that's really interesting, and I'm really hoping that people uncover what 9S's name means as well, because it has to mean something.
I haven't found a Shakespearean reference to it, but I thought this is what I've been seeing, and
Could
I
be a
think
passage
it's cool.
in the Bible.
No, is nines.
It could be a passage in the Quran. We don't know.
Fucking
It's
shut up.
open to interpretation.
Jesus.
Case of nines, it's like if there's more nines in something like, say, coding or like a scientific experiment, the more nines there means it's the more probability of success. So if it's 1 9, it's 90%. If it's 2 9s, like it's 99, like, you know what I mean? So the more nines there is, the more secure something is.
Because it's the highest number before you get to 1 and
Yeah.
0, but they're low value numbers.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like he's nines, he's the hacker. It makes sense. But maybe there is also a Shakespearean thing to it.
Because what's his letter?
9S.
And what's Shakespeare? Shakespeare with an S.
How many letters are in Shakespeare?
No, what if 9S was Shakespeare cloned 9 times and combined into the one person? I think that's a better theory, honestly, Niamh.
Yeah.
9 Shakespeare.
I'm woke like Yoko Taro.
Let's move on with the news.
I love watching this podcast just disappear down a black hole sometimes.
I wish we shot video of this, because Niamh's making this thing where
Niamh's face is in such anguish.
she's pursing her lips, but they don't know where to go, so she's just sucking her cheek.
I feel like I could eat my own face out of like just
There is
sadness
the
now.
quote. That's the fucking title of the podcast. I feel like I could eat my own face.
Yeah.
But Niamh, how much does the new Tomb Raider make you want to eat your own face?
a lot. The Tomb Raider Twitter, of all things, on December 7th, released a text picture that reads, "Square Enix is excited to share some big news with you next year. Honestly, we wish you could share it with you right now, but we're taking a new approach this time. A new Tomb Raider game is coming. Driven by our goal of putting our fans first, we want you to know that it won't be very long between the official reveal and when you can play. Our journey together will begin with a major event in 2018. We simply can't wait to take you on Lara Croft's defining adventure."
You know, there is a classiness to that reveal I respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to do a Tomb Raider game next year. Cool.
It's excellent reassurance, and their wording is very good.
Yeah.
Their wording is so good
Yeah.
that if you take the letter of each sentence,
Decode
it spells out the word shadow, which was the name Shadow of the Tomb Raider that was seen on a laptop on a metro earlier in the year. People like saw some guy's laptop,
they
and it was
did.
like Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It spells out shadow.
I feel like that comment linked to your previous comments about Nier add up to paint a very compelling picture.
I hate myself. It's okay.
Niamh is an Easter egg hunter. She loves it.
The internet got that.
She was the
one.
person who discovered that Sonic Mania Easter egg.
She was.
Yeah.
She kept it to herself, and Sega were like, "Come on, just tweet it out. Otherwise, we're gonna have to do it."
That was really one of the saddest things I've ever seen in PR, where like Sega had to like reveal their own A or G because no one gave a shit.
It's so sad.
Did that happen this year?
It happened about a year ago. I think it happened. Yeah. It was about a year ago. It was like the end of last year, start of 2017.
Right. That was sad. Because someone pitched that to a room full of people, and they were probably like, "Oh, I don't know." And then he was like, "No, it'll be deadly." And then they, and then he has to, then like 18 months later, he has to be like, "Hey guys, listen.
I'm gonna be packing my stuff up."
Do you think he was on Twitter just typing in Sonic and just being like, "Come on, oh no."
I think people were too busy looking for frog fractions too.
And his partner was like, "Honey, don't check again."
Just don't do it to you.
But yeah, new Tomb Raider. Maybe I'll play this one.
You should. They're good.
I know. I figure I'd probably like them, especially considering how much I'm enjoying Lost Legacy.
They'll probably do a trilogy at some point as well.
Oh, that would be perfect. I love that when like a collection of games that you always kind of were curious about comes out. But yeah. Let's move on to the Game Awards.
I didn't watch any of this. I watched one or two YouTube clips of select scenes, like the guy who's one of the developers on that Prison Break game.
What was that about? I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Okay, so this is one of the guys that developed Brothers, which I love. I love that game. It's
Brothers Tale of Two Sons, fucking fantastic.
It's probably the best game on the Xbox 360.
Yeah, shut up. Like way better than Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, way better than GTA 5. No, I really love this game.
That's a really great game.
And they're making a game that has a similar mechanic where it's two prisoners, but they're handcuffed together, and you have to use them in tangent with each other to solve puzzles. And it's like a very distant third-person action adventure. And so it's just him up on stage announcing and I think he's doing an award announcement with Jeff Keighley, but he's just going, "Fuck the Oscars, fuck this shit," and he's giving the middle finger to the camera. And then he turns to Jeff and he's like, "Is there swearing on the award show? I forgot to ask." And Jeff's like, "Too late now." Like it's, I can't wait to see the Crow Cat like breakdown of this.
Oh yeah, I had to scrub through that, and the look on Jeff Keighley's face.
He wanted the floor to swallow him.
It was like, but there was like an acceptance to it. Like he was like, "I was perfectly aware something like this may happen. Now it is happening as I stand beside it, and I am powerless to help it."
And he really, really wants the Game Awards to be like taken seriously, like the Oscars.
In fairness, I think he's doing pretty good. Like from what people seem pretty satisfied with that.
Yeah, this year was good, but last year was like a fucking clown festival.
I thought last year was a step back, but it slowly improved this year.
Yeah,
but that's what I think is kind of cool. And like, I do appreciate that he's at least out on Twitter being like, "Listen, there's going to be parts of this that fucking suck because award shows are weird and we need people to fund it, so there will be
there's crazy sponsorship.
He's not fucking people around.
There's no giant man dressed as a shaving razor this year.
You're right. He needs to bring that back if we're ever going to be like taken seriously. I think that Razor Man is presenting Best Picture at Oscars next year.
Cool. I really, really like Jeff Keighley. Like he's doing his best with what he has.
There's genuineness to that guy.
He loves video games.
He loves video games.
Really
and he wants the Gaming Awards to be a big deal. Not for him, just because I think he wants the Game Awards to exist, which is cool.
Yeah. So I was going to announce a few of the winners and see what we think of them.
Go for it.
Go for it.
So overall, the game of the year was Breath of the Wild. And it was up against Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, Battlegrounds, and Mario Odyssey.
I was kind of sad that Nier wasn't there.
Nier should have been nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nier is nominated in other ones, but it's definitely nominated in the right ones in other categories, but I think it should be there.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of I
totally get like something like Yakuza 0 not being nominated. Like
I could probably swap out Nier Automata for Persona 5 and I wouldn't be bothered. And I love Persona 5.
Yeah. And like, what do you think of Breath of the Wild specifically as a winner?
I think that's what people wanted to see win. Yeah.
People like vanilla ice cream at the end of the day. And if people are buying, like I think if a lot of people are getting dessert, they'll just go with the one that they can rely on.
I think Breath of the Wild's going to sweep a lot of Game of the Year awards.
Yeah,
it will.
for sure.
It's such a hearts and minds game because I think it was also the advent of, hey, Nintendo are doing good again.
Yeah, it was a launch title for a new console.
Yeah, and you couldn't ask for a better launch title to launch a console from a business perspective.
And it's a handheld game.
Yeah,
It's fucking insane. Then Breath of the Wild also won Best Game Direction.
What does that even mean?
that's an odd one because Best Director.
This is to
Best
do with the
Picture
actual
and Best
director.
Director in Oscars, and Best Director will usually go to. It's basically a way to give a real proper runner-up prize to another movie, and so it seems really stupid to give the same one to both.
Yeah.
Who was nominated in that?
So Zelda won. It was given to Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 7, Mario Odyssey, and Wolfenstein 2. It's a fucking weird mix because I think Nier Automata should be the winner of that award.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like the underdog co-first place award, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
Where it's like, oh, this is also really, really good because like this is like a vision that's very, very personal to a director, and this is a director's game.
Yeah.
And Nier Automata is like the example of that I can think of this year.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even consider Zelda that like very directed, you know?
No, Zelda is like Zelda feels like a
so
large
open.
machine working together well.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like a singular vision, I don't really get that from it.
No, because
Yeah.
it's way too loose.
Yeah.
Then we have Best Narrative, and we have the winner is What Remains of Edith Finch, which I haven't played, but I've seen it in YouTube videos, and it does sound very
Yeah, it
good.
looks cool.
It seems like a very good walking simulator.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a tired trope at this point.
I don't know, I feel like the name Walking Simulator is so reductive for what some of those games do.
Yeah, but I really like Gone Home, but I played Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, and I played Unfinished Swan, and I was so...
I have not heard great things about Rapture. Like, I think those might just be bad games as opposed to like the genre being bad.
But then What Remains of Edith Finch is meant to be like pretty inventive.
Yeah, I've seen some really cool stuff from it.
Alright, so then we have the other nominations are Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice,
Sure.
which is kind of... alright. Horizon Zero Dawn, which is... it's got a great story. Nier Automata, which should have won.
I don't like
It's got a good narrative.
it does have a good narrative, but I feel like the narrative is in tandem with so much other stuff that like to just win on narrative is kind of would be weird nearly, you know? Like the narrative is the gameplay is the world is everything. So to kind of separate that out, I don't know, that's me getting pedantic about it, but I would say the best direction one, you're right with that.
Yeah. And then the last one was the new Wolfenstein 2, which I haven't played, but I'm sure it's got some clever stuff in it. It's probably to do there with the social commentary.
I've seen some
of
stuff
this
from
year.
Wolfenstein 2, and yeah, they go for it.
Yeah, which is good because
Yeah.
they kind of need to if it's about Nazis. Then Best Art Direction went to Cuphead, which is
Yeah.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
absolutely
sure.
agree. We had Destiny 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5. Persona 5 would be a good runner-up to that.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I feel
Breath
like
of the Wild.
parts of Persona 5 look amazing, parts of it really do not.
No, I just think the HUD system and menus.
Yeah, the
and
menus are
bits-
cool.
They're really cool. Some of the 3D models not great.
Yeah.
I think it's the PS3 aspect of that.
Yeah,
limiting
but
it.
still, like it's like
And then Best Score or Music went to Nier Automata, which 100% I agree with.
Sure.
The music is my favorite part of Nier Automata. I love the soundtrack of that game.
Okay, here's me getting weird about this again.
we
I
go.
think it should have totally won this award for sure, but I've seen every publication, all they praise is the soundtrack because I don't know if they know how to praise anything else. Like Polygon did a number 4 Game of the Year Nier, and the first thing is like it has an amazing soundtrack, and I feel like people are struggling to talk about it, so they go for the obvious, which is the soundtrack, which is amazing.
they mention how it goes from like orchestral to
Yeah.
8-bit and back.
Yeah,
They probably can't like describe the narrative in 2 paragraphs, and that's all they have allotted.
yeah, that's true.
It's probably that kind of... because it's a complicated story.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, totally rightly won. It is an amazing score.
Yeah,
completely.
totally.
So-
Like there's like dynamic themes as well. There's 3 versions of every song. That's fucking cool.
The other nominations were Cuphead, which the soundtrack to that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Destiny 2, which I've heard is better than Destiny 1.
The soundtrack is really good to Destiny 2.
Persona 5, which...
Oh, I love that soundtrack.
Persona 5, I like, for me, my personal favorite is Persona 5 because they made generic battle music sound non-repetitive.
And even just the kind of the way the music changes with the different stages of the day and the weather, like there's so many different versions of Beneath the Mask.
Yeah.
And like there's one bit in that where like I think it's like it rains and it's like really sad and they take all the layers of music away except for like this one little piano layer and it's so good.
Yeah. And then we have Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, which I think are more like scores because they just kind of pitter in and out.
I think the Breath of the Wild music is used very effectively.
Yeah, it is.
I couldn't tell you anything about it.
I couldn't even hum something from that.
No, I wouldn't be able to recognize it, but there are bits where like you have quiet moments where you're scaling a mountain and the music will just sort of like blend in.
Yeah,
super
and then you'll
nicely.
get a little doo-doo as you get to the top of the mountain.
And it gives you that goose, like it feels nice.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely have that
used
experience.
well, but I wouldn't call it a good score.
It's not anything I'm going to listen to outside the game.
Yeah.
I think the music in Mario Odyssey is incredibly disappointing because it's only in like the middle of a level.
There's one song later on I quite like.
Which one?
It plays during the last level.
Oh, yeah. That's very good. Like it's got some good musical numbers to it as well, but not the strongest Mario game soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I have Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 like on my iPhone. So I think they're good songs. Then we have Best Audio Design went to Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Fucking amazing. You need to play that game with headphones on and experience it. Like, it is excellent. It's beautifully directed audio. There was Destiny 2. Did the gunshots sound less annoying?
Yeah,
Is there some
good
sci-fi beeps and bops?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some good sound design. Resident Evil 7.
Nothing sticks out in my mind.
What, for sound design?
Yeah.
It was probably good.
Yeah.
I can't remember it.
Yeah. Mario Odyssey. There actually is a video on YouTube that has some interesting sound design stuff where you know how you can like jump into electrical poles and become like a voltage version of Mario going through the electric lines. All that stuff has its own soundtrack that is a version of the pre-existing level. And it'll transition between them. So if you go from one part of a level to a different part of a level that has a different soundtrack, it'll do that in the electrical pole.
Yeah.
So like there is a lot of detail in the audio. It's just not used to the full impact in certain parts of the game.
I feel like the longest you're on one of those electric wires though is like 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah, and they put a lot of work into it, and it's really strange that they're just hyper focusing on these little bits.
Yeah.
I think Mario Odyssey is a game full of like a huge amount of work.
Yeah.
It's not into areas that really make a difference to me.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have Breath of the Wild for audio design. Like it sounded.
When you cook, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I like
a little
there's
jingle.
some nice footstep noises and stuff.
There's nothing wrong with the audio in that game, so that means it did the audio right. Because if it was wrong, we'd notice it.
Totally.
So yeah, like I'm sure that's why it's nominated. Best performance is for Melina Jurgens as Senua. She's absolutely fantastic in Hellblade.
Yeah, she does a good job.
Yeah, we have the girl who played Aloy in Horizon, guy from Wolfenstein 2, and then Chloe and Nadine from the Uncharted Lost Legacy games, and they also did a fantastic job.
Cool.
Yeah, they did.
But I just think Senua is like the focal point of that game, so they really went all out with her acting. Games for Impact, Hellblade once again did it. I guess that's the mental health stuff.
Yeah, sure.
It's like they're real proud of it, and it seems like all the people that they did research on, and the all the professors that they spoke to are happy with the end result, so they did it right.
Well, yeah, maybe talk to someone with mental health problems.
I think they did.
They talked to people, professionals.
I'm pretty sure I saw an interview where they're like, no, we talked to people with this stuff.
Maybe. I wouldn't say they didn't. I don't know. It wasn't... I thought that's why I'd love the game as someone who has those. But I didn't find it very affecting at all. At all.
It's very loose with that stuff at the end. because I read afterwards what she's supposed to be going through at the end, and I went, "Oh, okay, actually, that's very good," but that was not explained to me properly. In the game,
it wasn't as overt maybe as it could have been.
Yeah, but she is like it does seem to have a good understanding of it, just not in the game.
Yeah.
Sorry, what else? Games for Impact. These are all kind of indie games, essentially. Bury Me, My Love. I don't know that game.
Yeah, I've never heard of that game.
Oh, I've heard of that. That's I can't remember. It sounded heavy, was all I remember.
Okay, Life is Strange Before the Storm. Sure.
Yeah.
Night in the Woods, that has gay characters in it. Is that why that's in it? It's also about poverty in a town.
Yeah, it's about suburbs and dropping out of college or whatever.
I was going through our like list for games, and I got to Night in the Woods, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I really want to play that game, but I want it to be less than €20.
I have it, and I'm just like,
Have you played much?
Just a little at the start. I find the characters really unlikable, and some people love them, so I was like, maybe it's just, I don't know, they're not clicking with me.
I find the guy who made that game very unlikable, so if it's him, like...
Oh, what's his deal?
He's just real, he's like, I'm an independent animator, it's so tough out there. And I just don't want to read that when I go home.
I think he was on...
He was on Giant Bomb recently.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
the
That's cool.
cast, yeah. He's grand.
Yeah. Please Knock on My Door. I don't know that game.
Never heard of it.
What Remains of Edith Finch. Maybe there's some family drama in that game. There
seems to be, yeah.
Yeah, that seems to kind of like push stuff that hasn't happened in games before, which is cool, I guess. Best ongoing game, Overwatch.
I think we're getting into the...
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to say these two, because best ongoing game, Overwatch. This game came out a year and a half ago, and they're still releasing content for it.
Yeah.
Okay, best independent game goes to Cuphead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a slam dunk.
Yeah, and then we're into fucking mobile game, handheld games. Actually, handheld game went to Metroid Samus Returns.
That's cool.
Which is a good game on the 3DS.
There's also a bunch of announcements at the Game Awards.
Yeah, which is more important.
Let's get into those.
We have... Our boy Hideo came out.
I'm no more or less interested in that game. I am completely unmoved.
What do you think the coolest aspect of it was?
The baby.
The baby? Just straight up the baby?
Yeah,
I'm giving you the thumbs up?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I stuck this on. I half watched it. I didn't care.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's not the best cutscene. Like there's like you're kind of like, yeah, I get it. They're just moving a camera on a man lying down. Get on to the next bit that piques my interest again.
I think because we're not seeing any gameplay ever, and it's just like a cutscene, it's kind of hard to be too invested because you don't know what the fuck it is. But I thought there was some cool hints to what could be in it, like the contraption on Norman Reedus's and everyone's back, the kind of little clapping light thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
That senses things. I'm sure that's going to have a big gameplay element to it because it lets you know when those enemies are nearby.
It looks stupid, but it's also cool. I don't know how
it's cute.
I don't know how the enemies are going to work because they're invisible, which is kind of hard to do in a game because that could be very frustrating. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how they'll make that playable. Yeah.
Another aspect I thought was cool is the guy who's trapped under the rubble or the bus or whatever it was. He's aging rapidly throughout that encounter.
Apparently it's the rain that makes them do that.
I thought that was cool because that adds an interesting element to it. His voice didn't age, but just his body looked like it was just being drained of life, and it was something I didn't pick up on straight away, and then I was like, hey, was that guy always old? And I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
But I thought that was cool and could lead to some cool gameplay stuff as well.
Apparently, I think it was either Mark Cerny or Andrew House. I think Andrew House just left Sony, but they have said online that they've played this game.
Oh, he said at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
He was like, the weird thing about that trailer is that after you play it for 4 hours, all that makes sense.
So there is an internal controller.
And that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that you can play it for that long? Ooh.
But the game is a third-person action adventure, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine it came out and it was just like an Uncharted game.
Yeah.
Just a weird Hideo Kojima Uncharted game.
I'd be perfectly cool with that.
Yeah, probably me too.
With some great set pieces.
I'm gonna buy that game.
Yeah, we have
without
to.
doubt. Fuck, not buy a non-Metal Gear AAA Hideo Kojima game. I'm not crazy.
It's a console exclusive. You know that it's gonna be fuck this, whatever.
And they're gonna make it sing as well. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sure. What else we got?
don't know.
I gotcha. Niamh here with stuff. From Software's mystery game, Shadows Die Twice.
Oh yeah.
What do you want this game to be?
Not Bloodborne 2. I'd like to be original IP.
Yeah?
And I'd like to be like something Eastern feudal Japan, something in that line. But not Neo, but something that's from...
Let me tell you about a game called Tenchu Wrath of Heaven.
I saw a few people theorizing this.
Oh,
which
man.
is originally developed by From Software.
Wrath
or
of Heaven
one of them was.
Is like... Wrath of Heaven is just the fucking perfect kind of sort of busted PlayStation 2 game that is actually really cool.
And it's a ninja game, but it's also got like demonic elements to it.
Yeah, totally. It's a ninja stealth game, and it's the kind of stealth game where like if you get caught, you're just fucked. Like you can take out one bad guy, but any more than that, like you're dead. And it was really janky, and it was so stiff to control, but there were such cool things in it. You could play co-op, and you could double stealth kill people, which pretty much involves one ninja just walking up and killing a guy, but then you both slash their body for like 15 minutes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'd really like this to be an original game. I don't want this to be Bloodborne 2.
People thought it could because the font used was very similar.
It is, and it looks like a trick weapon from Bloodborne that's being filmed, because it's a weird like. But it like people are also saying that it looks like a puppet marionette handle, but that could also double up as a weapon. But that there's a ninja, not a throwing star, but the things that Naruto actually uses. Those little daggers, a ninja dagger. Yeah, but it looks like one of them is embedded.
You're both thinking of kunai.
Yeah,
Shut up, John.
Sorry.
Our resident otaku ninja John says that it's a kunai, but it looks like that's embedded inside the winding.
And
That's cool.
there's a boss in Tenchu that says Shadows Die Twice.
It might not be a Tenchu sequel, but I'm sure it's heavily inspired by Tenchu.
I mean, that's fine
And
by me.
Sony are pushing PlayStation 1 nostalgia. And Tenchu, like there's 2 or 3 Tenchu games at the PlayStation 1. So fuck it, yeah.
That was literally like a 5-second trailer, and it has loads of people talking. So that shows how much people care about
I'm
what From
surprised
Software
to
does.
see how much people are freaking out about it, because I do kind of think like, yeah, From Software are working on a new game.
Yeah,
That's
but-
what successful video game companies do.
But you know how like Square Enix said they're making a Tomb Raider game, and they just did like a nicely worded like
Yeah.
text post. This is kind of a similar thing where From Software, I guess, like to do it cryptically, where they're just like,
Yeah, I guess it's their flavor of that.
yeah, and so it's the same thing where it's just like, here you go, you're not going to get anything else for a couple more months, so you can just fucking tear this apart.
Niamh, what else we got?
Campo Santo, Firewatch creators, are making a Egypt game called In the Valley of the Gods.
As a side note, I really love that our Reddit says 3 rules: be nice, be cool, no Firewatch discourse.
In the Valley of the Gods is such a fucking terrible name.
I know.
It's cool that they're making another game. I hope it's better than Firewatch.
So far it looks better because there's at least 2 character models, which they did not have in Firewatch.
No, they just had fucking voices.
Egypt shit cool. 2 character models. It's set in the 1920s, so
Hey, I really
I like
like.
period drama. So
Yeah,
hopefully it's good. I'll give it a shot.
I also
For
like
sure.
the Brendan Fraser mummy movies.
Yeah,
Do you like those?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, I like that kind of. Yeah, it means there might be a mummy in the game.
It sure does.
Niamh, what else we got?
Soul Calibur 6.
My reaction to that was, wait, was there Soul Calibur 5?
There was, and
There was.
you're
There
was.
upsetting a bunch of listeners right now.
I really liked Soul Calibur 2 and 4. They were fun. I think the only problem is I like Samurai Showdown so much better. That's like the SNK samurai fighting game, and it's cool because like the thing that bothers me about Soul Calibur is like the moves are so quick. I feel like they kind of lack the impact that hitting someone with a sword should have, and that kind of, I don't know, it kind of bothers me.
It's very arcadey.
Yeah,
it's-
That's what people like about
a
it.
button
I'd say
masher.
so. They're still fun. They're still
Yeah.
great games. Mitsurugi's cool.
I thought this was interesting because what they showed has a young Mitsurugi and a young Sophia.
Apparently, this is this takes place during the story of Soul Calibur 1.
Okay, that's cool.
It's cool to see Sophia again.
It got me excited, and I was like drawing all my favorite Soul Calibur characters.
Who's your favorite Soul Calibur character, Niamh?
I like Maxi, and I like Ivy,
I love Ivy.
and I like Raphael.
He's the nunchuck dude.
No, that's Maxi with the nunchucks. Raphael is the French dude with the rapier.
Yeah, did he turn into a vampire?
I think so.
He did, yeah. In the
he
later
did.
games, he became a vampire.
Soul Calibur 2 was my favorite because
My favorite Soul Calibur character is Yoda.
he is the best character. Mine's Spawn.
Spawn's really good as well.
I like Necro, Todd McFarlane original character. Well, Bryan, he's good.
I just really like Yoda because his hitbox is just like, oh, all right,
Kind of breaks the game.
he's a foot and a half tall, isn't he?
He's like, God, what was his name from Tekken 3?
Gon.
Gon, yeah. He's like the Gon of Soul Calibur.
Or you know Oddjob and GoldenEye, and he's a tiny bit shorter than all the other characters.
Yeah.
So doing headshots is impossible because your default like aiming position is just like he's like just at like an inch below that.
No odd jobs.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's always cool to see a fighting game franchise come back.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 1 and 2 for Switch.
Yeah, excellent.
Yep.
I'm going to buy it a third.
I'll buy that for me and Bryan are both going to buy that game for a third time.
I'm happy since like the last Nintendo console I had was a GameCube, so I get to finally play some Bayonetta. So happy for Niamh.
And like I'm genuinely excited to play through both those games again.
Yeah, and we have
Bayonetta 3.
fuck yeah.
Oh my fucking god, I was
Switch
so
exclusive.
happy.
Yeah, I can't believe it's like a second Nintendo exclusive of Bayonetta. At this point, she's like a second party Nintendo character.
I mean, like, she's in Smash and everything.
Yeah.
I wish, it's all going to come in time, and like all that really matters is that it's being made. I would have loved to see like what design they're going to go with for 3, because like I really like Bayonetta's design. I love her redesign for 2.
Oh, yeah, I love short hair Bayonetta.
Yeah, and I just like, where do you go from there? Like, what do you do with her for that?
Shave her
Is she gonna be
head.
bald?
Okay, do you know what'll happen? She'll probably get captured. She gets put into prison. They got to shave her head.
That'd be fucked up.
So it's like Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Do you think Niamh will like Bayonetta?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shipping that happens with Bayonetta.
Bayonetta and Jean.
Yeah. So, I mean, that already has me vaguely invested because I'm like, yeah, okay.
Good stuff.
And everyone has glasses.
Everyone has glasses.
'Cause
Because they asked him to take the glasses off Bayonetta.
Kamiya, the
Yep.
the director, and he wears glasses, and it's very important to him.
Yeah. But that was the biggest news of the show for me by
Yeah,
far.
for sure.
Yeah, it was very cool.
There was another announcement that I thought was interesting, and it's like a shooter called Witchfire from the people who made Vanishing of Ethan Carter and the people who made Bulletstorm.
That's an interesting combination of people.
Yeah.
It could have a good story then. It could have a good single player campaign.
From what they showed, the environments and the creature design looked cool. Like I'm not going to say Bloodborne levels, but there seems to be a depth of detail in it that you wouldn't really see in like something like Bulletstorm or general shooters. So like that's cool. So yeah, we'll see what that is. Other than that, they showed the desert map for the first time for PUBG.
People seem really happy with it.
Yeah, they've been playing on one map for a long time.
Yeah, it's good to get some variety. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people playing that game, so it's not going to affect the servers.
Were those most major announcements?
They were the major announcements. There was a few smaller stuff that I didn't care to list.
They're pretty good announcements because I remember 4 years ago the Game Awards announcements were Cranky Kong is in Donkey Kong Country Returns 2.
Well, like
or Tropical Freeze.
I feel like if you put the announcement of Bayonetta 3, like the instant release of Zelda DLC, the Hideo Kojima stuff, that all amounts to like a pretty solid E3 showing. Like I thought, in terms of announcements, that was like a really good E3 press conference. So fair play to them. One thing I just want to talk about, I'll make this super quick. This is a story that just changed before, but there was like the Patreon policy change and change back. I was going to come on because I make my living through a Patreon, and there's probably people who listen to this podcast that support me there. And I thought that change was really fucking shitty. Like, it was really awful. it was awful for people who want to donate to Patreon, and it was also awful for patrons, because like common knowledge on Patreon, and like part of what made me structure my Patreon the way I did is $1 patrons are kind of your lifeblood, because 100 $1 patrons is so much more stable than 10 $10 patrons. But as well as that, it just felt like this bizarre exclusionary thing, because like not everyone has a lot of money, and I know that like there's a lot of people on Patreon who like to spread $10 and put it between 10 of their favorite creators. But then all of a sudden, if you're getting charged an extra like 50 cents, that's a lot more money, like for a lot of people, you know? And I'm really glad that they went back on that, because I don't say shit on Twitter that often besides here's the video, because I don't really like talking on social media, but that was one of those things where I was just like, I want to talk about this because this is fucking bullshit. But I'm really glad they changed it back.
They had to wind it back. Like, even like, you know those memes where it's the guy with the girl and he looks back at the other girl? It's like Kickstarter's drip service and stuff. Like, people were like, okay, let's start looking at other stuff. And creators were like, I'm going to move from Patreon. People were posting up images of their patrons leaving the reason, the fees as a reason.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure the exact number I lost, but I think it was around 20 to 30 patrons, which like, you know, I still have like a lot of patrons, but
it's significant.
It's worrying as well, because like imagine just watching the number of money you get every month drop and not knowing when that's going to stop. Like, that's scary.
And it wasn't even just the extra added fee on top of the patron's dollar. There was a thing where, say if you donated to 10 Patreons, normally they would turn that into one charge. They were doing them as individual charges, so you'd get 10 separate charges, which is just bullshit.
Yeah.
And just like, it was just so anti-consumer, anti-patrons.
And like, you should see the email that Patreon sent me about that. They were like, good news, you're getting an extra 5% of your money on Patreon. That was it. Nothing else. And I was just like, oh, sick. And I was like, man, there must be some downside to this. And I was like, nah, it's fine. Nope. Yeah, and also just, you know, if you are someone who supports me on Patreon, super appreciate it. Thank you. But I'm really glad that whole situation resolved.
Yeah, they wound it back. They sent out some emails apologizing. The exact words were, we were wrong.
Yeah, and I thought their apology was great.
That's well handled.
I still make less money now than I did a week ago.
Yeah.
And I know there's nothing they can do about that, but yeah, you really fucked up, and I appreciate the apology. Still not super sure about Patreon in the long term.
Yeah, because the only reason they wound it back was because of the level of outcry.
Yeah. Moving on to other news. Street Fighter V Season 3 revealed. Did you guys see any of this, or do you care about this at all?
I saw bits of it, yeah.
Okay.
They showed 6 characters.
All the characters, yeah.
That's cool they didn't do it in a drip. They actually just
I actually really appreciated that. I'm done with the seasonal drip.
And it's 3 original characters and 3 familiar characters, or what?
Two original characters
and 4 returning.
Yeah. And the returning characters are Cody, Blanca, Sagat, and Sakura.
Yeah, I love Sagat.
Sakura looks super cute.
I wasn't 100% on board with her outfit until I figured out why they put her like that. She's an attendant at an arcade. That's cool.
That's really cool. I mean, she'll have loads of outfits.
Yeah, they've given her like my favorite outfit for Sakura is her battle outfit from Ultra 4 or from regular 4, where she like she's like got her own little gi and she's all like beat up because she's been training forever and she looks older and she looks fucking deadly. But I'm really excited for Street Fighter Season 3. Like, really, really pumped to get back in there. Did you guys see the new girl character?
No.
Falk. She's like a M. Bison girl, but not a doll. She's got like a proper uniform.
I'm looking for her here, but she's got a funny spelling name.
I think it's Falke or Flake.
No, it's not Falco. Falke. Okay, I think I see her
Here she
here.
is, yeah.
She's got ruffles? No,
this is her. The blonde.
Oh, yeah. She looks like
That's a bit of a mom haircut.
She looks like an air hostess.
Yeah.
But one that could kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. She looks like a BlazBlue character.
Yeah, she kind of does. But that's kind of like the Ed, who's like the new sexy Shadowloo boy, he has like that kind of uniform, and so they kind of sit together well.
And who's G?
G?
G.
No one knows who G is, but
Is he cute?
there's one other character with one letter name, and it's Q, and people are wondering, is there a connection?
G looks like
That American poster of the guy.
what? Uncle
The
Sam.
American-
Yeah.
yeah.
He doesn't look. He looks like.
We want you. He's pointing at the camera and he's wearing a hat and he's a crap beard.
He
that
looks like.
the
He looks
American
like a.
dude.
He looks like a guy from New York.
Yeah, American.
No, but like New York isn't America. New York is New York.
And Cody's back. And Cody was a criminal in the previous games. And so Cody was from Final Fight, and the other character from Final Fight is Mike Hagar. And Mike Hagar is the mayor of
Fight Town.
Fight Town. It's not Fight Town, but it's not far off either.
Muscle City.
Yeah. And people are saying that Cody is now the mayor.
Okay.
I like Cody's sad eyebrows.
He's a beautiful sad boy.
And
He looks
is,
pained.
is a guy from Final Fight already in the game?
He was in 4. He's not in 5.
I'm sure he will be.
Are people
Bring Hagar. Hagar needs to be in a mainline Street Fighter game.
are people happy about Sagat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Sagat
well, at
looks-
least, like, you know, we've seen his...
I love Sagat. He's one of my favorites, so I'm glad to see him.
I started off playing Street Fighter 3, Alpha 3 as Sagat, and he looks sick, and I really liked that cinematic they did. I thought that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the big 9-minute cinematic where they revealed all
No.
this shit? It's just
I've only seen clips of it.
it's just the arcade intro, and it's just this Chun-Li's like getting ready. She looks really good, and it's good. I'm so my phone wallpaper is back to being Street Fighter.
That's okay.
What Street Fighter character?
It doesn't matter.
You got a new phone. What Fighter character like is on your new phone?
I feel like there's a kind of level of privacy that we like to keep to our personal lives in this.
What's your phone wallpaper?
Is it Rainbow Mika?
Is it Chun-Li as
And
the wallpaper and or Mika as the lock screen?
there she is.
Okay, so it's Ormika as lock screen and
Then your home screen
is
is
Ormika again.
is also Ormika.
It's just Ormika.
You know what I am.
John loves muscle girls.
What's your phone screen? Phone wallpaper?
Mine is Josefumi Kujo from Part 8 kneeing Aphex Twin's face and smashing his teeth.
Mine is Jotaro with fish.
So
I mean, we're all winners, really.
Yeah.
so
really.
Niamh and I both have JoJo phones, and you have
John's
Street-
a thirsty boy.
yeah.
That.
John's a hungry hippo. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay, we got another email back from the ghost that's emailing us.
Okay.
I said so. He said knock knock, and I said who's there? And he said a neglected personal account that had to get more creative. Ooh. So I've said that's really scary.
I'm still like 70% sure it's not actually a ghost.
It might. I said that's really scary. What else you got? Because I want to keep this going.
Then the other thing was the Street Fighter 30th anniversary collection.
This look cool.
I'm so fucking excited about
What's
this.
this? I don't know what this is.
This is Street Fighter 1. I think Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fight, or Street Fighter 2 Turbo,
It's
Street Fighter 2 Champions Edition.
Yeah.
I definitely have gotten one of them wrong.
It's
then Street
got
Fighter.
all three street. It's got all the three
Up,
Street
up,
Fighter.
up. We'll get there. We'll
Okay.
get there. Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter Alpha 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3 with online play, which has never existed, which means I can actually play as Ormika online against real human beings. Then we got Street Fighter New Generation, Street Fighter 3 New Generation, Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike with online play. We're fucking back in business, baby! It's time to stop playing everything else.
Do you think they'll have that rap song again where it's like select the player to make the
There
right
would be
move?
fucking riots in the street if they didn't. And I cannot wait because, oh my god, like, there's not that many games I consider myself proper good at. I know how to play fucking Third Strike with Makoto, and I cannot wait for the first day of that because it's going to be like the first day of any fighting game, except I'm actually good at this one, and it's going to be beautiful.
You know how it has that border around it because all the games are in Forest of Tree?
Mm-hmm.
But you know how the border bleed edge is also on the bottom, it's also on the top and the bottom of the screen. Do you think you'll be able to like change it so that it's more zoomed in
Yeah,
on
totally.
the image? because I don't like how the border goes all the way around.
There's always a ton of options for that stuff, especially whenever they're like porting arcade stuff.
Because I know we haven't played the SNES Mini yet, but a big complaint of mine is that the border on the SNES Mini has a few customizations, but not enough, and it's a bit bothersome.
Right, that sucks. But I think I don't know if they announced the price for this thing, but man, that's a lot of Street Fighter, and I couldn't be more excited. Like, this is generally one of my most anticipated games for next year.
And Capcom have got good netcode, so like, and it'll probably run pretty smoothly. Fingers crossed.
I hope so. I really hope so, because Jesus,
because
right now I can't play Third Strike online.
It's really interesting because this is a game where you can pick 8 games or whatever, and 50% of those games
has original Street Fighter 1.
Yeah. But,
doesn't nobody care about that? Isn't that why?
Not only does no one care about it, Niamh, it's a fucking terrible game.
Great.
But I think it's only like a megabyte of data, so it's just really...
It's an interesting little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got like it's got art book stuff in it and everything. It's got character profiles. It's got
a sprite viewer. Like, you can go like and just look at these giant chunky sprites and like look at like, man, the Third Strike sprite. I'm like salivating over this game.
Yeah, you're really excited.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But it's just interesting that it's got a bunch of games within this that all have an online lobby. So I don't know how they're going to handle that. Where do you just go into the game and then go to the online lobby, or do you go to the online lobby
and
first
select a game?
And select a game via that.
I would do it that way.
I'd say there's going to be, because there's going to be like, you go into a game, you go to the lobby there, and that's what it'll be.
It'd be better if you go to a lobby, select a game, and you can see the health of the game, like the player population of the game, so you can select a game based on that. That would make sense to me, but I'm a genius. So.
This is Capcom we're dealing with. Capcom are like a super like smart intellectual, but they've got like a knife.
Like, I agree with everything you're both saying, but at the same time, just hook it to my fucking veins. I don't care. Just let me fight people. I have a problem. Yeah. I have a problem.
Well, there you go. John's got a problem. All right. I think that's all the news.
That was a lot of news.
And it was all fun, and we had a great time.
Yeah, but that Life is Strange thing.
I'm real sorry for reading out all the Game Awards winners. Like, you could just check that yourself. I just wanted to.
That was fun. I like that.
We had some good discussion around that.
Yeah, it's just interesting because the next episode that we're doing is our Game of the Year. Some
might call it the real Game of the Year.
The most important Game of the Year.
Yeah, because we're all journalists. Like, we're all credible people here.
It's the only one that matters.
Because we play every game and we try to treat them all fairly. Like, I think we all have to play the sports games because someone has to.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you, FIFA 17 is going to kick some fucking ass this year.
FIFA 18.
I don't care.
No, you really don't.
No, I really don't. Let's move into our emails.
All right. This first one is from Adam, and it's a question about drawing.
I don't know how to do that.
That's a lie.
All right. I was wondering, I'll read the whole thing. Hey guys, firstly, I wanted to say thank you guys for making such an entertaining podcast. They are always a joy to listen to. Thank you, Adam. I was wondering, considering all of you are or have been involved in the animation industry, your thoughts about improving your drawing. I draw as a hobby in my spare time and was wanting to learn about improving my understanding of anatomy and how to draw in general. What do you guys do to improve your drawing skills? Does it come naturally from just drawing what you want, or are there specific things you want to improve over time?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
And I think we'll all have very different answers.
I think so.
I have a postcard on my desk of an artist I really like drew, and over it, I defaced it, but over it I wrote the words "draw every day." And I have that on my desk, and I see drawing as an experience bar from an RPG, and I try and draw every single day, even if I don't feel like it, because I feel like even drawing for a half an hour is better than not drawing at all, because at least that's another half an hour experience under my belt. And when it comes to anatomy and stuff like that, you can't learn what you don't study. So it isn't just from drawing you'll get better at muscle, like knowing the muscles. You need to study that stuff. So even if I don't feel like drawing, I'll be like, okay, well, what's something I can do? I'm not really good at drawing portraits, like just like side-on portraits. I'm gonna study that. Or I'm not good at hands. I'm gonna draw hands for 20 minutes. And even if it's just 20 minutes, at least I'm 20 minutes better at drawing hands, you know what I mean? And that all adds up. Like I can track my improvement from January last year, you know, till January the following year. And it's like, you see it. And even though you might be doing it and you don't think you're improving, you really are, because you're putting that time in, kind of thing. I do think it's like something you never stop learning, and it's something that you should identify what you think you want to get better at and try a little bit. And it doesn't have to be a lot of time. Like, as I said, 20 minutes.
I do think like it's definitely depends on what you want out of drawing, because I think like if you want to become like a professional illustrator and do it for like a living, you really do definitely need to be drawing every day. If you want to improve, and if you want to like, if you're someone who say like doesn't draw a lot and wants to get into it, I think the most important thing is to get to a space where you're enjoying it and you're comfortable with it. Because like if you're forcing, like from my perspective, if you're forcing yourself to draw all the time and you're miserable with it, you'll burn out.
I don't see it that way. Like, I think I know I love drawing, but I know I don't want to draw every day. But I can learn every day. You know what I mean?
But you're a professional illustrator. Like, I'm kind of talking about it from like outside that perspective. Yeah. And like, I think from your perspective, that's totally the right approach, because like your drawing is how you make your money. Like, that's your craft. But I guess from my experience, where I've been more casual with it, I think it's really important to enjoy what you draw. And I think you do, you know, not being too hard on yourself when drawings aren't working out is really important as well. Because like that is a real good way just to beat yourself up and to feel less passionate about it.
Oh yeah, I don't ever see like, no drawing's a waste. Whatever you've done, you've learned from it. Yeah. Every line you make, you learn from it.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just filling up that experience bar. What about you, Bryan?
I don't draw enough. I've got some stuff I want to draw at the start of next year because I want to make another short film. I think when I draw, it's always in line with something that it's serving something. So I guess because I want to do a hand-drawn film, but I want to do the drawings on pencil and paper and scan them in and then do a lot of digital compositing afterwards. And so I'm kind of thinking about that now. One of my kind of like biggest fears is when you get a blank sketchbook.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what do I draw on the first page? So one of my ways of getting over that is I start in the middle of a sketchbook.
Ooh.
Because what does it matter if there's a shit drawing in the middle of your sketchbook? Because people will just, and even yourself, like 6 months later when you look through it, you'll just kind of like flick through it, and it just means that all the drawings are out of order and out of sequence. It's not like you've got like September and then you've got October, November, or whatever, but they're all over the place. So I usually start in the middle of a sketchbook. I'll work my way out left and right.
Drawing on the left side of the brain, or the right side of the brain, I can never remember which one it is. That's a really good book. It gets you seeing things, and it gets you looking at the world in a very visual way. And I think it's really, really super important, especially like if you're not super naturally talented with that stuff starting out.
I think I wear glasses, so my vision is always shit. But like, blurring your eyes and looking at the shape something makes is such a good way of doing things, and just trying to put down that visual information and then filling it in. Yeah,
there's such a big thing of like putting down the like literal lines and shapes you actually see, as opposed to what your brain has calculated something looks like.
There's a really good YouTube channel, and it's like Bobby Chew, I think is his name. Can't remember it right. He does the schoolism courses.
Yeah, he's really good.
But don't pay for a schoolism course. unless you really want to. But
They're
he
very
has,
expensive.
yeah, they're very expensive. But his YouTube channel, he has like tutorials on them, and it's like listening to an hour-long podcast where he'll be like, okay, we're going to do some imagination drawings, or we're going to do some anatomy, or we're going to do some just different face drawings, and he sends you a link to a download where he'll kind of have like some lessons for you to do. So you're kind of listening to him, not just talking about the lesson, but just kind of talking about his like, just thinking about art as well, and just his kind of feelings of them. And they're really, really, really easy to listen to. There's no pressure. You don't feel like you're doing a lesson, which is so boring. You feel like you're just kind of drawing with someone as they're talking to you. And it's really, really nice. And I did them all digitally. I didn't do them traditionally or anything. But I found them really, really helpful. So I'll drop them in my loot drop. But his YouTube channel is really, really good. And it's such a beginner level thing as well, because it's just you can start from it from any time. And it's just getting you to think about it in more like, it's a skill that you work at, and not like some people are like, it's a talent. And I think, yeah, but that's a basis for something. If you don't top that up, then you're going to be always at a certain level, and you're going to rest on that because you're like, I've been told I'm good at this level.
Yeah, I always thought it was interesting in animation college because like you saw the people like who came in at the start of in like first year and who would have been like super talented. And I found a lot of them didn't actually end up making that much progress during college, where the people who had loads of drive and were like really into it and really wanted to get good, they made a huge amount of effort, and by the end of college they'd come such a far further way. And like if you're shit at drawing, like if you really don't feel good about your ability to draw, that's fine, because like if you draw, you'll get better.
Yeah.
Whether you like, no matter how much you try and fail, like just it will get better, even if every drawing you do like along the way is shit. And one day you'll be like, oh holy shit, look at this thing, I can't believe I can do this now. And that's such a good feeling.
Yeah, it's a skill that you can totally learn and totally top up. Like having natural talent gives you a very, very good basis to start from, but it will not get you everywhere you want to go.
No.
It's all about hard work, man. But like, again, have fun with it. You know, I say hard work and then have fun, but it's, if you don't want to do it, then there's no forcing yourself to make that happen either.
Yeah, it's just a real kind of like having the right perspective on it, or just having the right attitude.
Like, do it because you love it. Yeah. Don't do it because I'm going to be an artist.
And I do think sometimes people get obsessed with the idea of being like an illustrator or a comic book writer. And maybe that isn't for everybody, because that is a very particular kind of work. Very, very particular. And
and probably a lot of the best illustrators and comic book writers out there just sort of fell into that job. It wasn't this like 5-year plan.
Yeah, but the good news about that is like, well, maybe if drawing isn't your thing, maybe you could become a writer or an editor or, you know, something like that.
It'll lead into something.
Or just work on your own shit, because no one could put limitations on your own stuff. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about, I think, you know, keeping your own small creative projects going as you're like, no matter what else you're doing, because that way you'll always be making stuff.
Yeah. That actually leads us into our next question.
Himmy.
Which is from Rowan, and it's about sharing art. How are you all? We're good? We're tired?
Good.
We're 2 hours in, but we're good. Love the podcast. You three sound like really genuine and nice people.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're faking it most of the time though. Anyways, on to the question. So art is cool, right? I like making art and have been doing it for years. It's one of the few things that I feel very passionate about. However, I rarely share it with others. There have been multiple occasions where I considered posting my art online, but I fear that by doing so, I will no longer make it for myself, but for others. To me, art is something very personal, and I wouldn't want to lose that. On the other hand, I also think about sharing that sharing it can make you connect with others who love the same thing, which is also a really nice feeling. How do you guys feel about it? Keep fighting those bosses and stay strong.
I think once it leaves you, it's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
once
you've drawn it, the emotional part is over.
Yeah, even then it just belongs to the piece of paper, or belongs to that digital file that you have it in. It's not. It's already left your hand.
I don't think it'll become less personal to you because you share it or not. But you might make a new friend if you do, or you might join a fandom if you do. But you don't also have to share things as well. I know a lot of people draw from a very personal space and they don't want to. Like people who write loads and like or write diaries. Like you don't have to blog everything either. But there is a nice aspect of like, especially if you're doing fan art or stuff, or just sharing your version of something that exists out there can really open you up to a lot of people in the world.
Yeah. One thing I do if I put up art on my Instagram, one interesting thing is that usually that art is like 6 months or older. I'm not posting up like a new drawing I did, very rarely, but it's just something that I took a photo of in my sketchbook from like ages ago.
Why is that?
I feel if I've just drawn it and I'm sharing it right away, that to me feels like I'm giving it away too quickly, or I'm just like, here we go, it's out, here we go.
Yeah.
You know that feel like it kind of makes it feel disposable or more too, or like kind of like too disposable, and like so sometimes I'll do that, sometimes I won't. But I like going back and looking at an old drawing I did and I was like, that's actually alright, I'll post that one online. But by then I've forgotten about it and I'm seeing it
with
fresh.
New eyes,
yeah, with new eyes. And so when I see it that way, I'm like, oh well, maybe someone else will see it the way I just saw it. So I share it that way, which is kind of so like it could be a worry that you might have. So maybe that might be a solution to it. Like so you can mix and match between new art and some older drawings that you've forgotten you drew and you actually thought were pretty decent.
If you ever have a drawing that like blows up online, I think that feels really good. Like that's a really fun feeling. But I think the problem then becomes like if you start chasing that dragon, you know? And
you want lightning to strike twice.
Yeah.
And you're forcing it.
And I think there's like an element of when you know other people like your art, you can kind of revel in that feeling a little bit. But I was reading Araki's book, the JoJo's author recently,
Manga Theory and Practice.
That's the one, yeah. And he was saying how like it's really important to finish a piece of work and then not think about it. And he's like, don't feel good about it, don't feel bad about it, just move on to the next thing. Because feeling good or bad, that's not going to help you create the next piece. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Just, something is never done either. No. You can keep tinkering with things and it's just like, this is done now, just leave it done kind of thing. And nearly the final act of something might be posting it online. It's like, well, it's out there now, I have to stop touching it.
Yeah. I love unfinished art. I love seeing work in progresses. I like seeing how they did certain bits and pieces because it kind of shows some of the blueprints of the of all the base stuff on it.
Whenever like I post a video, like that's how it feels. It's like it's not mine anymore because like no matter what my intentions were with the video, people are going to kind of draw their own meaning from it.
They can reinterpret it. They can even re-edit it if they wanted to. It's crazy.
Like, and so sometimes I feel like there is a kind of loss there because especially if you spend a long time working on something, it becomes part of your routine and then it's gone. And that's always a weird feeling.
Okay, so this podcast that we do every 2 weeks, how do we feel about it when it goes live? Are we ever kind of like anxious about it, or are we ever just kind of like, well, we'll just do another one in 2 weeks? Or
maybe when we started, I don't feel anything about it now.
Yeah.
It varies. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm worried that people will think badly of something I've said or badly of me or something, and I'm like, oh shit, like maybe this is awful, and I like grill my girlfriend and I'm like, well, I sound terrible. But then there's other times where I'm like, whatever, it belongs to other people now and people get stuff from it. But I think I edit the podcast, so
you tidy up little bits and pieces.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like I re-listening to it afterwards because this is a conversation we're having, and it always sounds natural and fun when we're having it. But when you listen back to it while you're editing, you're like, it becomes words and statements instead of a conversation. And I was like, is that me? Is that what I think? Was that what I believe? And then I get like freaked out by that. But then I'm also freaked out by a lot of shit all the time.
But it's also like, this is a weird one, but I guess us talking right now, this is a single instance of us. And like, if you asked us what we thought about the same thing tomorrow, it might change.
Oh yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
like,
for
yeah,
sure.
whatever, I don't even care.
Because
Yeah.
like, people will regularly be like,
You sounded really, really, really bothered about this or that, but
some people will be like, what about this thing? And they'll tell us to like a podcast episode from a year ago, and I'm like, well, I don't agree with that, and I have no memory of saying it, but I also don't think you're lying.
yeah,
You know, it's just like,
I always forget what I've said.
Yeah.
But then I always kind of loosely remember when we sit back down and talk, and I'm trying to like pick up where we left off. But it's real kind of like we're sitting here talking, but then once we get up, we kind of leave it there.
definitely listening to podcast episodes from much earlier in this is a trip. It's
Really?
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think I could do it.
It's so weird.
Are we trying hard to be like wacky or something? Or are we just?
No, like we're not.
Are we just
In the
like,
first episode of Let's Fight a Boss, it just starts and we're talking. And it's like, there's no introduction, there's no sections, we're just talking. We don't introduce ourselves. We're just talking for like an hour and a half, and then the episode ends. It's fucking weird.
That's so weird.
and do we interrupt each other?
I think we've always been pretty good with that.
We're a lot more timid in it. Like, and it's weird. All our voices sound totally different as well.
Well, I think we were babies back then. We didn't hit puberty.
We're all like, yeah.
I think I've only gotten comfortable with this in with more being me in the last 15 episodes maybe.
I don't know. I think the last 30 episodes is when we started to kind of get it.
There's
I'm a
like a
bit
phase
slower.
1 and there's a phase 2. And we're
Yeah.
definitely in the phase 2.
Yeah.
And hopefully there'll be a phase 3. I don't know what that'll be, but
Just us screaming.
yeah.
Phase 3, this is the golden age. Phase 3 will be the fall.
Yeah,
they're gonna be
for sure.
It used to be better, but now that they're all self-aware.
I wish they'd get rid of Hannah. She's after ruining the podcast.
What's Hannah happening?
We should have looked into Hannah's background before we brought her on. Jesus Christ.
we shouldn't have made that GoFundMe and then
No.
cancelled it 24 hours later.
Yeah, well, we got that publishing deal from
Yeah,
Deep Silver, so
that one photo on Facebook leaked, and there was a flag that we shouldn't have. Yeah, we shouldn't have done.
sometimes I'll send Bryan photos and be like, Bryan, this can't go anywhere near the podcast.
And I won't put it on a podcast, but I will show it to people on my phone.
I know this 99% you won't, but just to make sure that you're 100% that's the rule.
Okay, you know that photo I took of you beside Dave Franco?
Yeah.
And people loved that on the Twitter. It was very, very funny. There was some great fan art and some great text responses.
I thought you guys went to see The Disaster Artist because of that.
No, we went to see some anime shite.
Yeah, I know. I figured that out today.
Lou over the wall. But it's just he had a poster behind it, and we know that John
Loves Dave.
Yeah, has strong feelings for Dave. And so I put that up, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that because I didn't ask John's permission. But John kind of understood that I was going to do that anyway.
Yeah,
but
no,
I didn't have his 100% consent on it, and I felt real
Yeah, you were worried about it.
I was really worried because I know you're kind of worried about your brand.
But also you
Your
can't take
online
things
image.
back either.
No.
You
Well,
know?
it's not like that I'm worried about my brand. I just think there's
The image, bro.
once shit's out there, it's really hard. And for me particularly, it's really hard to know what's going to get spun off into something bigger.
Yeah.
Because people are creepy online. They're really weird, and not like the Let's Fight a Boss audience. I've never had a negative experience. Genuinely, I've never had a negative experience with anyone who listens to this podcast. But the larger YouTube community as a whole, that's a different story. And so, yeah, I get a bit nervous about what goes out and what doesn't sometimes. What was the start of this question?
Sharing art online.
Yeah, sure.
I guess we're still kind of on.
Yeah.
We're there. It's just we're not talking about drawings anymore, but we are talking about stuff we create. So it's still it's all there.
But I think we're
Yeah.
also in a special circumstance with that stuff.
Yeah. It's just an interesting correlation, just because we do this and then we kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that's the right attitude to have.
Yeah.
We got one final email.
We do. Which one are you thinking, Niamh?
The music one's good.
Okay. Favorite song and writing. This is from Emmanuel. What's up, John, Niamh, and Bryan? Listener from Canada here. I've been here since 33 episode days. Oh yeah, I've been here since the 33 episode days. You guys are probably my favorite podcast ever.
Probably.
Yeah, rethink that.
Yeah.
Love the-
Stop, Brian. Stop reading the email. Move on to the next email.
Love the chemistry you all share. We have chemistry. I
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we do.
guess we wind each other up. Yeah. Shiki no Uta, Song of the Seasons from Samurai Champloo is my all-time favorite song in anime, and Beneath the Mask from Persona 5 coming a close second.
Those are great songs, both of them.
Yeah, they are. I could put the song on repeat and seem to never get tired of hearing it. So my question to you all is there a song in an anime or any media in general that you just can't get enough of, to the point that people might say you have a problem? On the side note, I am. Not that good at writing, so apologize if there's some grammar errors. It's okay. If you guys have any advice for becoming a better writer, I'd love to hear it. Keep up the great work.
Writing's like drawing. Do it every day.
Yeah. See previous email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, songs. I guess when anime songs or TV show songs, I go through like a phase where I'll just listen to a song on repeat for 2 or 3 months, and then I'm fucking done with it.
Same.
So at the moment, it's the theme song to Inuyashiki, which is
That's so good.
yeah, and so it's like a fake Rage Against the Machine song, but
Hit me on the ground. Hit me on the ground.
I actually should show you what the band looks like that make that song, because it's fucking brilliant.
That's such a fucking great opening.
I love that song.
Yeah, brilliant.
I might link it on the Twitter because it's very, very important.
I generally have 1 or 2 anime theme songs a season that I'll loop.
Which ones are this season?
Inuyashiki,
Yeah.
100%. That's an amazing one.
Is there a theme song to Made in Abyss?
Yeah, it's pretty alright. Like, it's kind of cute, and I don't like cute music. I don't.
I really liked the openings to Ghost in the Shell anime series. They're pretty good. I used to listen to them a lot. And Simple and Clean from Kingdom Hearts. That's a good go-to song forever.
I think if there's one song I could listen to, like, on repeat forever, Stickerverse Symphony from Donkey Kong Country 2. That's my favorite piece of music of all time.
That's a really good song. I think a lot of music that's in Kirby's Fun Pack is very important to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a few songs in it that sound like Pink Floyd songs, which is really surreal. But you make these connections where you hear songs as a kid and then you hear songs as, I guess, as a college student, which is when you get into Pink Floyd, like, normally. I love that, where you're just like, that was a song I used to listen to all the time as a kid, and it's just coming back. But
Offspring's Americana is that for me.
Yeah.
Theme of Laura from Silent Hill 2 would be right up there as well.
I was going to say You're Not Here or You're Not There from Silent Hill. It was in the tree in the movie, and it's also sang by the voice actress of Major Kusanagi, so that kind of goes around.
Did this come up last podcast?
Maybe it did, or just like talking about this song.
I don't know if I was there for this, so it could have come up outside of the podcast.
Maybe it came up outside.
Sometimes I do talk to John.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So sometimes we talk to each other outside the podcast. So sorry, just to go back to the Inuyashiki opening theme, the band the song is called My Hero, and it's by the band called Man with a Mission. But the band looks like this, John. They are a Japanese band that all wear wolf head masks.
That's
awesome.
pretty cool.
And look, their heads are transforming, like in Inuyashiki.
Yeah. They actually appear in the most recent episode of Inuyashiki. There's a bit where there's a music video with them on the TV in the background.
Brilliant.
But yeah,
that series is still awesome, by the way. Like, I'm like 8 episodes in, still loving it.
Yeah,
that's a great series.
I fucking love that show.
Yeah.
I think there's only 12 episodes because there's only 75 chapters of the manga, and
they go through like 8 an episode.
Yeah, they do. They're burning through it, and the pacing is fucking class.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't think they're furries. No,
once you wear a wolf head, you're kind of a furry.
But well, one's got a top hat.
Yeah, but like I wear a wolf head, and I'm not a furry.
Yeah. They got human hands.
That makes you more of a furry.
I feel like the suit, like they're in suits. I feel like that's because you could be kind of trying to rob a bank.
Okay, do they have tails? If they're in a suit,
I can't defend it if they have
tails.
If
they have tails, then definitely.
They definitely don't have tails. I'll also tweet out a picture of this band because it's very important.
Was there some furry con recently that was a fucking disaster?
Probably.
What?
Seems like
the suits are highly flammable. I don't know.
there was.
I was thinking fire as well.
Yeah, it's just like an accident.
It was like on the level of Rainforest. You guys heard Rainforest, right?
No, this is you being a furry.
No, I'm not.
If you're a furry, I'm definitely not a furry. I'm a mechie or a scaly. I don't know if I'm a furry.
I'm a mechie probably too. Is
Okay,
that
hang on. I know what Scaly is.
A mechie is
You're
like...
not just a robot if you're a mechie.
Yeah.
yeah, well, like...
Blade Wolf is a mechie.
A mechie is like someone who's into like Transformers, but is also into Thomas the Tank Engine, but like is into like people as airplanes or something. You know, a mechie.
Okay.
People draw sexy airplanes a lot. Like
Yeah,
it's
man.
really weird.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Back to the song thing, there was like an anime like 2 years ago, Owari no Seraph, that had a really good intro song.
Sometimes, if an intro song is good enough, I'll watch it for like a few more episodes than I should. Just be like, this song is
I
sick.
always skip intros after the first time I've seen it when I'm watching
Yeah.
an anime because like I know what it is, but with that one I always let it play.
Okay, all-time favorite anime intro.
Oh, the Inai's Lobby One Piece arc
That's cute.
has a beautiful opening theme, and One Piece opening themes are fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, this one is amazing.
Smile Bomb Yu Yu Hakusho. Fucking 100%. I could listen to that song every goddamn day.
I can't think of the name of it, but the first OP to Bleach.
That's a really good, that's very iconic as well.
Yeah.
You know what's also a great theme song? The 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th OP to Bleach.
Bleach has really good songs.
Really good.
Yeah.
Like that's what you know the part 4 OP that everyone doesn't like, Chase. I love Chase because it's just a Bleach OP.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess Bleach was good all along.
I guess I was the one who fell.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
All right, let's move on to our final section.
Let's do some loot drops.
Okay, I'll go first this time. It's a YouTube channel called Game Soup. Got recommended to me. It's kind of like a small to medium YouTube channel, but he's been making videos for a couple of years, which is cool. Still going at it. This is one on Cave Story, and it's just about the game design in Cave Story and the breakdown.
Awesome. Oh, that sounds cool.
He has one on a few other indie games as well, and he has great. And he's got a few why it went wrong videos for Mighty Number 9.
Did he recently put out a video on Sega?
Possibly.
Yeah, someone put out like a 24-minute video on Sega, and it was like called Sega: The Fall of an Empire. I was like, fuck it, now I can never make that video.
I don't know if he did that, but he does do like 25-minute videos.
I think I might have got recommended him too recently.
Yeah, because both John and I get recommended the same videos a lot, so we'll be like, "Hey, have you seen this?" And it's like, "Just watched it."
Yeah.
Like, and it's vice versa on a couple of those.
We both got recommended some good Jim Carrey videos recently.
Yeah, we did. Fucking Jim Carrey. All right, Niamh.
Mine is RocketJump, How the Edit Saves Star Wars.
I have also seen this video.
It's a really good video.
Yeah.
It's just about the importance of editing and how Star Wars was kind of a bit of a tonal mess before the edit fixed it all.
Oh, editing is so fucking important. Like,
Yeah.
so underrated.
It's a really, really interesting story, and all the decisions that were made were good decisions.
Yeah, and you're like, yes.
Because it sounds like the original cut for the film was ridiculous, and he does like a timeline breakdown of all like the different key scenes back and forth between Tatooine and the Empire, and it flows much better the way the final cut is done.
The video has loads of old footage before the edit, and after the edit, it has the original scroll and all the crap that was in it. And
Yeah, it's got all the grain and B-roll.
There's a lot of research gone into this. It's a very good YouTube video.
It's got dailies.
Okay, I got 2 loot drops. One is there's a podcast I really like called Heavyweight that's come back, and Heavyweight is a Gimlet Media podcast, and you're following people as they're kind of like the whole episode is leading to an encounter, like with one person, and it's usually someone that they've wanted to reconnect with or lost touch with or find out a piece of information from. And the first episode of the new season was really good. It was about a girl who was in her sorority in college, and one day she was called into a room by 6 of her best friends, and they all told her that she was kicked out of the sorority. And when she asked them why, all they'd ever say is, "You know what you did." And she never found out what it was, ever. Years later, no one would tell her. And so an investigative reporter helps her find out what happened and why she was kicked out.
Is it good? Is
Yeah.
it worth it?
It's a very intriguing episode. I think it could end stronger, but by
Okay.
the end of it, you do feel like you at least know what happened.
It ends stronger than an American Life spin-off podcast, does it?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, but like that's one episode. It's episodic, so every episode will be about a new person.
Yeah.
And there's other ones about this guy, and he lent Moby the tape that Moby used sampled in his first big
Oh,
song.
I remember this one. I've heard this
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
This is
that's-
so good.
And he's like, his life never went anywhere, and he's really kind of torn up about it. And so he just wants to meet Moby and get his tape back. That's all he wants, and that's a fucking brilliant episode.
That's totally possible as well.
Yeah.
It's
Moby's
just
kind of a dick, though.
yeah, he's a weird man.
I felt kind of bad for him at the end of it, though.
He's still a dick.
I mean, yeah. And then there was one other really good one recently. It's the name of the podcast is Heavyweight. It's really, really worth listening to. And like by the end of each episode, I'm always like, oh my god, it's about to happen. Like they're about to meet the person they wanted to meet. Like holy shit, what's gonna happen? It's good.
That's some good build up.
It's a good build up. Second loot drop is on a trip to Cork. I recently found Fighting Spirit for the PlayStation 2. I bought it for €3. Fighting Spirit is a grappler backy fighting game that was brought out in Europe and America but localized because no one knows what the fuck grappler backy is. And I guarantee there's like 2 Let's Fight a Boss listeners right now losing their shit. And yes, grappler backy is amazing. I hope it comes out of hiatus.
So you found this in Cork.
Cork. That's what I
Insane.
love about fucking like, well, Cork's not really back ass, but you know, like
Kind
old
of.
shitty secondhand game shops. You never know what you're gonna find.
Cork is great for that.
Because they get sent the old stock of other GameStops and stuff, and this wasn't even GameStop. This was like a mom and pop secondhand shop.
Is
And-
this the one that's on North Main Street that has a lot of secondhand games? That's a really, really good
yeah,
shop.
it's really really good. And my loot drop is the intro from that game. This is a very special brand of PlayStation 2 intro where the cinematic was done by people who did not have a great grasp on 3D rendering, on the anatomy of the human body, on staging or animation, and especially human facial expression. There's a smile at the end of this trailer that fucking killed me, and I just want to share it with all of you.
This is what the human body looks like when you train hard enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I guess we also have to announce that this is also going to be, unfortunately, the final episode of Let's Fight a Boss for 2017. The final regular episode, because we'll be returning in 2018, but we have one more thing to go through, and that is our Let's Fight a Boss Game of the Year Showdown, which will be next episode.
Yes.
Yeah. We're all very nervous about it.
We have been arguing in advance off microphone about some of the games.
We were out the other night and I was like, okay, me and Niamh need to have this argument out now because it's not going to be fun to have it on the podcast.
I'm genuinely not looking forward to this episode. I'm gonna drink a whole bottle of wine in
I
advance.
love these episodes. They're always a fucking bloodbath and I love it. It's so good.
I just want you both to know that I love both of you. I'm sorry about what happens.
I just want you both to know that what I do is 100% premeditated and I've been thinking about this for a very long time.
I bet it's gonna be like people just going, "You're being so fucking selfish about this game of yours." Like it does not fucking. It's gonna
Go back, listen to our last year's Game of the Year. It's a trip. We decide Game of the Year in the most brutal means possible, and I love it.
process of elimination.
Process of elimination. 40 games.
And it gets really easy at the start, but then
Oh, it's a joy at the start.
yeah, that game is only okay. Cut.
We're not overly sure when Game of the Year is going to be coming out. It'll be coming out around Christmas, sometime around then. We haven't really talked about what date. We'll throw it up on the Twitter what day it'll be coming out.
Yeah.
So you have some warning. But look forward to that because honestly, it's probably my favorite episode we do per year.
I'm glad you're liking it.
Oh, I thrive on conflict.
It makes me want to pee myself. I don't.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
I have into Dance Dance Revolution.
Girl with the mustache.
Boy with port wine stain.
Janitor who lives in an RV behind the school.
I have friends, I definitely have friends.
Oh yeah, I have friends. I definitely have friends. Objectively, I can say that I have all the friends. I have friends, I definitely have friends. Friends, friends, friendly friends. Time to meet my friends. I'm Paula.
Daryl!
Lady who hit your car.
Friend of friend from law school?
Grocery clerk with half an eyelid.
We have friends, we definitely have friends. No one can say that we do not have friends. We have friends.